Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 334. Hopefully, you guys have had an amazing Saturday. I sure have. Got a great guest for you tonight. I know you should have seen him around in their chats as Rooster Farms. Our screen says Joan Farms, but it's one and the same, correct? You want to tell us how
Uh,
we're doing and how we can find you tonight?
buddy, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Jones Farm. Uh, that's about it. Two places I'm at.
Right on, right on. How you doing today, my friend?
Doing good, bud. Other than this rain, all this rain we having, but other than that, I'm good.
Boy, some rain is not a problem yet. I wish rain was a problem to be honest with you. I'm getting tired of the snow, so a little bit of rain would be nice. To be honest with
It ain't let up here for 2 days, and then the ground's already full and it's just running everywhere.
you. Well, hopefully it doesn't get detrimental for you. Anyway, you
That's
know what
right.
I mean. So, what you got? Something you're smoking on tonight? What
Oh
have you
yeah,
brought to the table for us?
I got a I got a little variety stash there. Just I got some White Russian, some Banded Russian Cross, some Jerry Garcia, little Cinderella 99, just a little jar of mixed, like a little variety.
Nothing wrong with that for sure. So, what's your top shelf out of those? There, which one would you put in the highest regard out of those?
Well, Eagle, I've had the Russian for probably 12 or 13 years. I've run it indoor, outdoor, every way you can run it. And it's been my baseline for a long time, and I just hard to get away from it. But I've got into some of the newer stuff. I've been running some TK and sugarcane cross. Washes real good, and actually real good, quality. But I, I, I got my main lines, and then I got stuff I bring in, and experiment with a little bit, and cull through it, and just try to keep what I like, what works.
Right on, right
But
on.
the Jerry Garcia, my little area here is famous for it. It that's what they known for here around my county is that the Jerry. I've seen it all over the world. Give it to friends and stuff, but it's mold resistant. It's just amazing. You can set it and forget it pretty much. uh, Works real good.
You gotta love them type of strains. That's the pine one, right? That's the real
Yeah,
piney strain.
it's like a almost like a pineish, which a lot of it we've run in pine patches too and stuff. But it's it's got a piney, um, skunky onion, like a piney skunky onion, wild onion sort of. It's just it's different. It's an older terp, file, but it's it's different. And then one of my buddies, he bred some uh, that burnt Acapulco Gold into that strain and give me some back, and it actually woke it back up. It's got that good gold look. Heck, you can see that, but it yeah, it's just hard to beat. You know what I mean? In my for my place, it works good. Uh, I run a lot of I've tried different stuff and this and that, and seems like it's always been a keeper. Just pretty much bulletproof. That hey, you don't have to baby it or none of that. It'll thrive. um, it likes to grow.
I love them pine terps. I can see why you'd keep them around. That's for sure. Why do you? Is there something that stands out for you on them that it's the reason why you keep it around? Or is it just the strain in general?
Well, I tell you, like a lot of these newer strains, they're not too, or what I've ordered and found, a lot of them is great strains, but they're just not tough enough for the rugged, terrain, the weather and stuff. And you can put some of the Jerry Garcia in it, and it just it makes it a lot tougher. Seems like they they vigorous, but they're also, you don't have to worry about bugs or pests. I mean it. Well, last year we had a worst season I've seen since I've been playing with it, and it rained from 1st of August plumb through to October, and everything down low hit rotted or bugged, didn't do no good. But the stuff up in the mountains and then higher up, perfectly fine. Not a problem, and I should have had more of that down low, but I didn't. I was trying to rush and this and that down low, but it's just, it's strong. You don't have to pack water and all. I mean, I don't even I set them and check them 3 times and that's it, outdoor. I mean, it's just crazy. It's almost like it's adapted to my area or something. A lot of people, I've heard people say, "Oh, that shit grows wild over in North County, don't it?" No, it don't grow wild, but it'll grow wild. It grows wild. But it's rugged. It's been a good one, and I actually run some Amnesia Haze that I got from Nirvana back 15 years ago, and it's the only strain I found that is bulletproof, as far as pest and weather and powdery mildew. Seems like the terps of that Amnesia Haze will run bugs off or something. It's just weird. You'll have a skunk plant or something over here, and they'll eat it up and won't touch. I've had them actually standing side by side, and stuff would eat another one and not even touch these. It's just what works for me. Basically. But it's also a great one, man. I've seen it, like I said, all over the place, and it seems to do good no matter where. It don't matter where you take it, it'll do good. It may change a little bit as far as bag appeal, but it strives. It's more like a land race, I guess. I don't know, but it definitely is a tough one. I had some Northern Light 5 years ago that was similar to it. It could stand about anything. But that's one of the reasons a lot of people, well, like I said, my area is known for it. It's one of the ones it's known for around here. And it's always been, it's just a go-to, and it's stable. I've never had a harm out of it. I've stressed it, torture chambered it. I've put it through the mill, and I've never seen a harm or nothing like that. But it works out real good. I actually I've only run probably 2 or 3 rooms of it indoor, and hell, it's better indoor than it is outdoor, to be honest with you, as far as getting it out of it. But it's just a rugged outfit, and it seems to cross good. I've only found a couple things that it wouldn't cross with over a period of 15 years or 16. It seems like it just goes about good with anything. I actually bred it over some blueberry 3 years ago, and I finally got around to running some of those last year outside, and I was impressed. Which, like I said, it was a shitty season, but the ones up high, they still killed it. But the ones down low, I had a lot of stuff I was experimenting with and trying out, and I lost. I don't even know how many I lost, but seems like it's one that works for me. With my situation, works out real good, and it'll yield good. It's got more, like I said, of like a piney skunky wild onion. It's just hard to explain, and the hash, it makes super nice hash. Actually, it's more like a northern lightish taste, maybe a little Acapulco goldish, northern lightish terp, sort of like when you make hash out of it, it's sort of like that. But I like it, and some of the newer stuff, like I said, I've been playing with some TK and sugar cane, and then TK and scoops, and I'll be honest with you, I can't say nothing bad about it. It's there. I've just been working it and trying to get it the way I want it, playing around with it, but it don't seem as tough and rough, can't handle the elements and stuff as this, but maybe in a few years of me having it here, I can fix that, make it a little more adaptable. It seems like it takes me about 3 or 4 years to get them climatized to my area, which we in a good place, but it seems like here in the last 4 or 5 years, dude, the bugs I've never seen before been dealing with. And not only that, it'll start raining the end of August or September, and it'll rain for a month or 2 months, and that's hard on people. Well, hell, even the gardens, I grow I garden, grow everything in the garden. I eat too a lot, but even the gardens has been, not doing too good. Last year, I planted green beans like 3 or 4 times, finally to get a mess of good beans, it's almost like, I don't know, something like Mother Nature's mad at us or something, don't want us to grow nothing or something. But it's a challenge. But hopefully,
last year was definitely a weird year for like outside growth.
it was.
It was. I don't know what's up. It's like the seasons have like swung a little bit. You know what I mean? They're out of calendar whack. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Seemingly.
I agree. Totally agree. I think that's that's the only good thing about the autos is that I found. I mean, not knocking autos or nothing, but it seems like they do you can get those done and in before that wet swamp comes. It seems like actually last year, if it wouldn't have been for those, I'd have been up the creek. But heck, they did super great. But now the regular ones and full season term, it was worst. I've been playing with the plant for it, and game foul is all I worked, sold mining equipment stuff, and I got out of a job in 2014, and by then I had my game foul on point, and had them in the Philippines and Mexico too, and heck, I said, well, it's do or die, now it's either make it or sink. And I took off with it, bub. And those two things is something that I've dedicated my whole life to. I never was interested. I got old hot rods and I love old Fords, but the game fowl breeding, and I got my hound dogs. Hunting, fishing. I love the outdoors, and that's just. I think that's why we went hand to hand at an early, very early with it there. And I just fell in love with both of them, and that's you fool with something every day, you eventually figure it out.
Oh yeah. It's definitely a labor of love, right there, for sure. It doesn't take long to for those roots to kind of sink in. You know what I mean? Once that canvas plant's gotcha, it's gotcha. You know what I mean?
Well, I've heard you say it like the growing it. The people don't realize. I'm a prime. I can. Heck, I told you. I've heard you say it, and I've told you. I got depressed and this and that when I worked every day for like 18 years and up and lost my job. That's different. You know what I mean? I 2 kids, I'm panicking out, and which I saved my money and invested what I had, worked with what I had, and I took a little sawmill and a dozer, and I said, well, it's now it's time to see if I can make it or not, and shoot, I ain't looked back since. I've been my own boss since 2014. Just do my thing, you know what I mean? And this COVID, I think people, I don't know, it seemed like life was going by so fast and everything. And this COVID sort of made people stop and think, you know, hey, you better slow it down and enjoy what you got, you know? I mean, spend time with your kids and family or whatever. You can chase a dollar later, you know, or whatever. But it sure slowed me, you know. I've been wide open my whole life, and between losing my job and then, like I said, I got back on my feet. And if it wouldn't have been for the plant, I'd been on it's untelling where I'd have been, you know, truthfully. But it is by far the best medicine I've ever found. At one time, Eagle, I was taking 6 blood pressure pills a day. My cholesterol was so high that they couldn't even read it, and blood pressure was through the roof. They told me I was a time bomb. So what they told me at the hospital said, "You're a walking time bomb." And I wasn't but like 37 years old then. And I got on a good diet, and heck, I never really did stop using my cannabis. And I sort of stopped when I was working for that company because I drove a truck a lot, and I got back introduced to the plant, and which they did find a mass on my adrenal gland that was producing too much of something and nothing would bring my blood pressure down. And they went in there and took that adrenal gland off the top of my kidney. And dude, that lady told me, she said, "You're going to be a different person with a normal blood pressure, you know," because I dealt with it all my life. They just kept throwing blood pressure pills at me and they wouldn't work, you know, and I'd keep taking them since I was 12 years old. And they took that adrenal gland out, and I was off for like 6 weeks, and I started using my cannabis again. And I went back to the doctor like in 4 weeks, and I'd been on a diet for about a month and a half, and 4 weeks after that surgery, and my blood pressure was perfect, my cholesterol was perfect, and they was like, you know, what, how you do it? And I said, well, I just, you know, quit eating fast food mostly, and where I drove that truck, it's, you know, convenient. You pull up and get food, you know, it's all you got to get. And I got it lined out, which is quarantine. I sort of got a little bit away from it, but it's still, my blood pressure and stuff's perfect, cholesterol and all that, and not just the mental aspect of it. Like you said, growing that plant, it's about like raising chickens or something. It's therapeutic. When you unzip that door or walking out, it's just stress leaves, you know. It's amazing, man. I got a couple buddies, and that's what they've been stressing out over all this, and I told them, man, you know, try growing something, you know what I mean? Just try it. No harm, no foul. Here, I'll give you this, that. You ain't got no excuse. Try it, you know, because it works, man. It's soothing, relax, works. And it's really saved me, like I said, heck, and around here, man, in the mountains, the government, they're pumping this junk out to people left and right, legal drug dealing, pretty much, I call it, this Suboxone and all this stuff. And I'm glad Virginia, like I said, I'm hoping in 2 years Virginia will be legal, but I think that's one of the reasons this area, they want to sell that junk, them chemicals, you know, and they don't want nobody to actually be healthy and do right. I think that's kept a lot of the legalization out here, you know, was pharmaceutical, these big pharmaceuticals. Because I saw a thing a while back, like a couple of the little towns around me, they were prescribing enough pain pills for like 4 cities, you know, I mean, in a little town. I mean, just unreal, dude. Sickening, really. It is. It's demons, man. But heck, I sort of, like I say, I live back in the sticks in the mountain country, and no, my mom and dad's the only neighbor, close neighbor I got, and hell, they pretty good ways away, but wouldn't have it no other way, you know. I enjoy it. I love it. I tell everybody we 3 years behind time up here where I'm at, and it's a good thing, you know. In some ways, I'm glad we're behind time. But it's just, man, anybody that knocks it should try it before they knock it. You know, in my book, I've seen some of the stuff that I've seen people come off oxycontins with it, dude. Like I say, these old junk the government gives out, butamol, Suboxone, or whatever, methadone. Seen people beat every bit of that, you know, with this plant, and other people, you know, die from it. But that's what I say. I just, and I don't think we really know all the good medical benefits of it yet. Maybe they just now starting to open up that, you know, and look into it. But it's sure saved my life, I tell you.
We're definitely just finding out what the plant is capable of, and I'm glad to hear you get off all that shit. It really bothers me to hear so many people time after time after time, to hear people, I went to the doctor and they just threw me a prescription or something. It's like they didn't even like check to see if what the problem was, if they could fix it. You know what I mean? And that fixing it's their last solution. You know, oh, you want me to go in? Fuck, I can't just throw you pills. What do you mean? You come back every month. And you're right. You nailed it. They are pretty much drug dealers. They do go to school. They do serve their purpose in a lot of ways. But when commercials come on for drugs and they tell you, ask your doctor if you can have this drug, that's the same of saying, hey, ask your drug dealer if this drug's right for you. It's the same saying. I'm sorry.
Dude, I've seen what that shit does. I got family, hell, people right around me, you know, friends. Damn, they look older than their dad. Eagle, damn, no tea. I mean, you know, and I'm not hell. Everybody makes mistakes. If you ain't making mistakes, you ain't learning. Is the way I look at it. But damn, it's just has to be some bad shit. You know what I mean? When I see what it does to people, I'm like, damn, scary actually. But you're right, and I think it all boils down to they, you know, these damn pill deal salesmen or pharmaceutical reps. They just, you know, they don't want people to use a plant that God made, you know, that can probably cure 100 different things with no side effects. They want to put you on this. They want to try this. I think they experiment with a lot of people too, Eagle. They, but well, here, try this. Help. Like if your car tears up, you go to YouTube and see what the hell to do to it. I believe they go on a damn computer and see, you know what, well, his symptoms sounds like is. Here, try this. You know, and hell, you look at the side effects and why you've been better up. I mean, get you a quart of moonshine, you know, I mean, crazy. It's just crazy. But that's world we live in, and I mean, unfortunately, but I'm glad that, you know, because I'm glad it's getting legal and ain't looked down on, you know what I mean? Hell, I've had a Whizzinator for 20 years, you know. When I worked, I had to use the Whizzinator, just you never knew when, you know. I bought me a Whizzinator out of High Times on 97, 98, I believe. Man, that son of a bitch was worth its weight in gold. But now, you know, I think, which hell, I work for myself now, don't worry about it. But, you know what? It's always frowned upon. Hell, it's okay for you to take 15 Percocets, but Lord, don't smoke a joint on Saturday off work. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Where y'all from? You know, crazy. And what somebody does on when they go home every evening, hell, that's their business. You know, I hate that it stays in your system like it does, but something you do Saturday night, you shouldn't. You know, hell, it shouldn't have nothing to do with work Monday morning. You know what I mean? Messed up.
Well, you know, there's a difference between cannabis and other drugs, and I don't think people realize this difference. Okay, way most drugs work, a lot of drugs work, are counter responses from your body. Okay, they're things you ingest, and they're scientifically wanting to promote responses out of you. So a lot of drugs that you ingest, what the way they work is your body's reaction to get them the fuck out of your system. You know what I mean? Especially as far as like street drugs. cocaine, meth, and shit like that, you're getting high from your body going, I need this the fuck out now. You know what I mean? Where cannabis, your body's like, I need this shit around. You know what I mean? This is medicine. We can use this. Let's save a little bit of this for later. We need this for our joints and shit. That's why your body retains cannabis, in my opinion, a little bit better than, the poisons where you're,
Yes.
the highest. Get it out of your system. You know what I mean? It's panic.
Oh,
That's the high, is basically panic.
yeah,
you know?
I agree. It is.
So, yeah.
And you know what? I told my buddy it's been a few weeks ago, we was talking, and I told him, I was like, why didn't they ban tobacco and legalize marijuana back in the 40s or whenever they done? Hell, tobacco is way more harmful than damn cannabis, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, you can go anywhere and buy a pack of cigarettes for an arm and a leg now. But, but Lord, cannabis, that's the devil's lettuce, whatever. But imagine how many lives they'd have saved if they'd have just done away with the tobacco and let the cannabis, legalize the cannabis back then, which I guess, it was probably all about money. The reason they legalized or made it a drug anyway, it was probably dealing with dollars. You know what I mean? That changes a lot of things.
It definitely had everything to do with dollars, but they looked at it in the wrong aspects. They viewed it as a threat from an industry that they had already established, that they didn't want to give up, the petro system. They were making too many plastics, a lot of stuff out of that. They make too much money off the fossil fuels. They're already set up. Why do they want to, bring in something new and, take that and, they can do so many things, which that should have been there. This is renewable. We can do all this stuff that we're doing. It's just going to cost a little bit of change, but, it's going to be good in the long run. They didn't want that. We got money. We got overhead right now. We don't want to change things. I think that had a lot to do with it, to be honest with you. There was just too many good things about it. And as far as like the drug companies go and stuff right now, man, I have been on the record of saying that I worry seriously about recreational cannabis. I'd love to see it. I can't wait to see it. But as far as medical aspects of like we talking about is pushing the medicines off our plate, recreation is not going to happen or not going to help that. I don't believe it'll make it available and everything, but the research that's being done for medical cannabis will dwindle. You know what I mean? In my eyes, big pharma has won, and when in part by the legal recreational cannabis, because that as when we were pushing it as a medical, you know what I mean? This is a medicine. This could save it. That was a direct threat to the pharmaceutical industry. They didn't want that. They don't want you growing yourself. They don't want you taking care of yourself. So, if they put all their money into backing recreational cannabis, well, now they win. You get to smoke. We shut the fuck up about, how their medicines are terrible. And then they can also keep pushing us their poison, and now they can start recreational farms. You know what I mean? They can diversify. You know what I mean? Start making money. They can keep pushing their poisons. Win, win, win for them. It's sad. It's really kind of sad what could happen anyway.
You're exactly right. I agree with you. That's exactly right. 100%. It's sad, more people are getting educated, man. About the plant. Even in where I'm at, like I said, it's been a way of life since first I can remember. Around here, but like I say, we 3 to 5 years behind time, which is a good thing. But I mean, it's like a lot of the older guys that I see, they're healthier than most 40-year-olds. They'll be 68, 70 years old, and I guarantee you can't keep up with them in the mountains. you better have you a 6-pack of water and you're ready to go. And I think that's why they so daggone healthy and stuff, is because they don't take all this junk and garbage. They don't eat all this foolishness. They grow their own food, raise their own meats. They very little do they have to go get. They can their vegetables. Got a we call them root sellers here, but cellar full of canned green beans and food. And I think that's why never drink a pop, may drink 3 pops a week or something. And I'm telling you, I look at them old guys and I'm like, damn, that's the secret right there. Stay away from all this food that these people's pumping out and all this medicine and chemicals. Leave that shit alone. I think, well, like I say, these people, I know some old dudes that my old mentors around here. I'm telling you, they're in great shape to be 68 and 70 years old. Just amazes me. And I'm like, well, it's obvious. They ain't had all these farm prescription drugs and all this pot and all this garbage that they, feeding to us, hormones and all this crazy stuff. And I think that's a lot to do with it, but I really do. Like I said, I'm in a coal mine, which it's all shut down now, but it's been a coal mining, all my life. The only thing around here was coal mines and a few sawmills. And it's just, I see these guys that works in the mines and actually friends with a lot of them. I sold a lot of equipment to them and stuff back in the day. But just for instance, like one mine's maybe 50 minutes from me, they was 7 guys had cancer at the same time that worked at that mines, and that one guy told me, he said, it's all that oil, hydraulic oil they dumped in, breathing and dumping and watering in it and this and that. And I was like, well, it's something, because why would all 7 of you have the same thing? Every one of you got cancer, and I believe, and that's like the water. Eagle, I tell everybody that raises the roosters or the cannabis, either one, first thing to do is have your water tested, man. Here where I'm at, you have to run 2 filters, salt filter, sand filter. Nobody's got good water. They've drilled, the gas companies is drilled and fracked, and the coal mines is, bored and cracked. And I can remember when I was younger, water was everybody had good water. And now my well water, I can't even feed to my dogs and chickens. I run it through 2 filtrations, like a green sand filter and a salt filter, just to make it able to bath in and stuff, and like I say, everybody's got back, but a lot of people don't, they don't have their water tested. And that's like the metals that I think a lot of these. Thought I lost you there, bub.
We're good. That's scary, to be honest with you, man. I'm here. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah.
That's scary. You know what I mean? When things, water and shit, that should be our cleanest point. You know what I mean? I should still be hearing from you.
Right.
This shit's crystal clear, best water I ever had. To hear you say that you guys' water kind of shitty there, that to me, it's a fucking huge red flag about what we're doing, man, to our society, our environment.
I'm telling you, it's sad. I actually, like I said, I built me another house and drilled me a well, and I had the water tested, and there was like 4 things in it: arsenic, petroleum, lead. I don't even know what all. And like I said, it ended up getting 2 filters. But not only that, even the animals, dude. You can't even feed it to the animals. Which now, what's weird is there's a river right out from my farm here. I can water them out of that river, but I think where the river runs, it maybe purifies it or something. I don't understand. I don't know exactly what, but the water out of the river is better than the well water. It's just weird. But so many people. That's what I tell people. A lot of people having issues and stuff. First thing to check is your water. I think it's a big plays a big part in it, especially like if they testing it and stuff. The cannabis or like I say, hell, even the animals, man. They won't. They can't. They ain't 100% on that stuff. I could tell a big difference when I started using my RO water and stuff for the animals and everything. But it's so sad that they let all these big coal companies come in here and do all this, and these gas companies. They paid. I mean, they made drill a few people some wells or something, and then got out of here. They got everything they needed. We had, and then left, and they left it to where nobody's even got good water. I mean, hell, everybody knows how. Which now we're getting. They supposed to be bringing city water in, but they've said that shit for 4 years where I'm at. But I hope they do in a way. But I really don't matter either way. But they supposed to have city water to everybody in the county, but that's not happened. Maybe it will, hopefully. But I think a lot of this stuff goes to the water, stomach problem. I mean, just cancer. I think a lot of it falls to what you ingest, you pour what you put in is what you get out. Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot to do with it. It does.
Well, shit, man, we jumped right in and got all kinds ahead of ourselves, man. Uh, you know what I mean? We
Yes.
kind of landed right in the middle. We need to rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Take a couple quick. We need to take some good puffs of that. Is that Jerry that you're smoking on? Is that what you pulled out?
Yeah. Yeah.
All
I've got a little hash in it, a little variety mix of hash I had here, and I put a little hash in it, and it's get me loosened up a little here.
Man. Well, when you're talking about that Northern Lights flavor hash, man, all I was thinking it was like a piney lemon, like kind of hash. I was like, oh man, it sounds so delicious. But man, yeah, yeah. Take a couple good puffs, man. Let's let's try not to recap, but let's get back to the beginning, man. We've obviously got a good story here for sure. So when did actually cannabis roll into your life? Because I see in chat they're kind of wanting to know, the backstory. They're like, man,
Well,
did I miss something?
Dude, to be truthful with you, I was probably about 7th, 8th grade. I got me a 4-wheeler, and my old man bought me a 4-wheeler. He retired from the coal mines. But anyways, he bought me a 4-wheeler. I had an uncle that was about 10 years older than me, and he stopped me one day, and he's like, give me a ride back up on the mountain. I was like, okay. So I got him on my 4-wheeler. I took him up on the mountain. It was a damn jungle. I was like, damn, man. He's like, yeah. He's like, don't tell nobody about this now. He's like, don't be back here. He's like, this crazy place. I didn't didn't think much about it. And I was like, damn, okay. And let it be. And it wasn't long after that, maybe about that harvest season or something. Me and him was working on an old car, and he was off to hell. He smoked it like cigarettes, and he introduced me to it. I was maybe my summer year, 7th grade or something. And I always had real bad nerve problems, dude. My stomach, I'd go to Walmart, dude, when I was a kid. My stomach gnawed up in a knot, and I'd have to go run to the bathroom and take a shit or something, just real bad nerve problems. Shit, when I started smoking, never had a nerve problem since. I was, it was just like it pulled that right out of my stomach, dude, those cramps and pains. And I kept it on the down low with mom and them, till I got in high school and stuff. Storage almost full. Every time I get a pop up here, and I think that's what's causing it to shut off, maybe. I'll figure it out here. Hold on. Okay. But yeah, I probably started about 7th grade or something. And like I said, it just helped my stomach so much. Well, it helped me everywhere. I was pretty much antisocial until I started it. And then, man, I never had no stomach problems. You know, eat anything. It didn't eat me. I mean, I was like, man, this stuff really helps my stomach. He's like, oh yeah, it'll help your stomach. And I sort of started helping him along, you know, and we'd use my 4-wheeler and he'd learn me what he knew. And it didn't take a couple years there. And hell, I just started doing my 4-wheeler myself, you know, 4-wheeling and stuff. And back then, heck, if you didn't have it, you'd have to, they wasn't none around. I mean, if you got anything around, it was old press, you know, block or something, junk. And so I figured it out fast. I was like, well, I don't have to have enough to last me till all year, you know. And so I said, well, at least got to have a couple pounds, you know, that way it lasts me to harvest. So I just started playing with it. Like I said, I've tried a little bit of everything you can imagine. Early on, though, I hear the guy talking about sheetrock on here a while back. It's calcium carbonate. I'll tell you how come I learned about that, Eagle. I was on this company property and they bought all these houses and they knocked them down and burned them and knocked them inside the foundation. Well, I was out on my 4-wheeler one day and I was like, well, man, right there'd be a perfect place for some, you know, because it had 4-block high foundation around it and they'd burnt that old house 5 years before and all that old sheetrock and ash in there. Dude, I put some in that and I ain't kidding you. They got 16 to 18 foot tall, had 2.5 pounds a piece on them, dry. And I told my buddy, I was like, man, I don't know what it is about this spot. I said, but it's crazy. I said, it's 4 times bigger than anywhere else. And he went with me and got to digging around looking. He's like, it's just ash. It's just fire ash. And I was like, well, if that's the case, I'm going to build a fire everywhere I plant one, you know, and let it burn down. And he got picking up chunks of that sheetrock. And he's like, oh, right here's what it is. He said, my papa puts this on his apple trees to make them grow. And I was like, sheetrock? He said, yeah. Well, lo and behold, I experimented around with it. Why? And this is back before I knew about gypsum or anything, but you could throw you 2 hands full of crumbled up sheetrock in a whole couple fish, and it was a no-brainer what they do compared to a hole without it. You know what I mean? Crazy. And then internet comes around and I start learning about all the different calciums and all this and that. And I was like, well, shit, that's why I did that, you know. Hell, that makes a lot of sense because that really is like hitting nitrous on it, you know, crazy. But I learned that the hard way and had a light fall one time, flattened some out. And I was like, this is done. I might as well throw him in the creek. And I was like, well, I'll give it a few days, see what happens. Dude, it come back, it looked like what they call a scrog. I was like, I'm going to start dropping a light on all of them. I mean, if it breaks them down, makes them do that, you know, they just started growing out and steady up. So sort of I was, you know, learned about scrog in there, and I was like, well, that works. And then, heck, even when you, like, on a strip job or back in the mountains and you plant them out in these grassy spots and these weedy spots, and they won't be a limb grow on it till it gets above the weeds. Hell, I was lollipopping them and didn't even know it. You know what I mean? And you walk up there and they'd be standing there big as your arm and nothing from the weeds down. They'd smother it all out. And I was like, wow, man, this makes them 3 times bigger. I'm going to start cutting all that bottom larf off, you know? And it's just so weird how I put what I learned now, you know, and know. But back then I had to learn it the hard way, you know, a lot different. But it's funny how it went hand in hand, you know, stuff that I caught on to, it was legit, you know, it worked. But at the time, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, you know, just like I say, trial and error. And I swear, I like breeding cannabis just like I breed the game fowl. I've used the same breeding technique breeding my roosters as I do breeding my plants. Well, really, to me, I think that's, you know, ain't one way to do it, you know, and I breed them the same way as I do my roosters. It's interesting. It sure is. And too, it's just crazy how I can send a rooster and some hens to the Philippines and that guy can raise them 3 or 4 years. They look the same, but they'll be a little different, you know, and I do that with seeds. I'll send them all over and they'll grow them 3 or 4 years. And it's like adding new blood. When he sends it back to me, it's like adding new blood into mine. It freshens that hybrid up. It works, but I don't know. I took a liking to that at an early age. I got bit by both bugs, and thank God for it. Like I said, been blessed, man. And I've always believed in, what you do good for people and it comes back to you. Everybody calls me the luckiest, everybody says I'm the luckiest person they ever seen. They're like, man, you should be playing the lottery. I win. And I tell them, I don't care if I'm pitching pennies. I want to win. I don't go to play. I go to win. And same way we have a lot of shooting matches around here. We shoot 22 matches and shotgun matches and stuff. And I get it. I take stuff to another level. When I do something, I have to do it right. So that's why I always just stuck with old cars and cannabis and the roosters. Because I go in too deep, man. I gotta know what makes it click. You know what I mean? Try to change that a little bit, or whatever. But it's just. And even to be here, me and you shooting shit about it, Tom, that's weird, because hell, I ain't been able to talk to just a few old people about it. How we compare buds or grows or whatever. You couldn't really, that's what I say. I can't wait to this. If it goes legal federally, you're gonna see strains that nobody's never seen. I mean, truthfully, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, guys that ain't been growing in cocoa and breeding or in salt, you know what I'm saying? I think that's got a lot to do. Like, if wherever you get your seeds, you better find out what they bred them in, because seeds that's made in salts don't do as good. Which what I'm saying. But where they was made has a lot to do with where they'll perform at 100% for you. I think anyway. I mean, there's 1,000 different, probably over 1,000 different ways to grow it. But it's just what works for you. You got to pick one and go with it, but tinker around. But man, never figure it all out. It's just amazing. It just amazes me, dude. The plant does. It's amazing. It'd take us 3 lifetimes to figure it all out, I believe. But like I say, if a person, if they're growing it and they like what they're growing and happy with it, hey, I'm tickled to death for them. You know what I mean? I wish everybody had unlimited supply. But I've been blessed, man. My uncle, he's the one got me into breeding the game fowl stuff and all that. And I sort of, fell into it, but I picked it up and took off with it. And I've been blessed. But I don't, heck, I'm like, I believe in what goes over a horse's back comes under its belly is the way I look at it. You do good for people and you'll have good, you make your own luck pretty much. I believe people make their own luck in this world. I heard you talking the other day about a dishonest dollar and an honest dollar. Man, I figured that out real fast. A dishonest dollar, it'll cost you $5, and a hard-earned dollar, it'll go further than $5. There's a big difference in it. They really are. And I just always try to, live by that, man. If I can help somebody, I help them, Seems like it comes back to them, and then a lot of times it backfires on me too, but at least I tried, I give them the benefit of the doubt, but I take my parents say they raised me to be like that, and I'm glad they did. I'm glad I was raised like that. I ain't never had to steal nothing or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I was telling my buddy the other day, a lot of people, they get comfortable with just getting by. You know what I mean? I'm getting by, man. And which some people be making 100,000 till they getting by. But what I'm saying is, like, they get comfortable in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? Or something, or a shitty job, heck, way I look at it, it's a free country. Get what you want, you know what I mean? Go after it, hustle. if you hustle, you can make it happen, can't you? I don't hope for shit. I hustle for it. That's what I like that saying. Pretty good. It works.
I like that saying, to be honest with you. I
Yeah,
like that shit. I don't hope for it. I hustle for it. It's the
that's right.
first time I've heard that, but I like that. I'm gonna
Awesome.
use that. I'm not gonna fucking lie, man. It's an
Hell yeah.
arsenal now.
That's right. And I'm telling you, I believe people make their own luck. People gives me big sad stories and stuff, and what they don't realize is what they done 3 years before that, or 30 minutes before that, or a year before it. I think you make your own luck. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have shitty luck too. You know what I mean? Seems like when it rains, it pours. But as far as making it and blessed, I've been blessed. I really have. Good jobs, but like I said, I didn't just say it. Some people, like I said, they get comfortable with just getting by. I couldn't do it. Yeah, well, I mean, I like to have my toys, my stuff. You got a grip, you have to work for it. And no limit, it ain't like somebody can tell you how much you can make a year or what you can do. You know what I mean? They don't like even working for yourself or somebody else. It's like playing no limit poker. Pretty much, just crazy, but it's just different. Well, I guess we like strains. Really, there's all different strains of the same thing. Different people, different mentalities, and different everything. But there's all different kinds of people.
Do you utilize the roosters in like your cannabis recipe? Do you utilize like the chicken compost in your soil?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is that part of the rooster program?
My feed, Eagle, my feed's got oyster shells in it, sunflower seeds, like 4 or 5 kinds of peas, wheat, corn, oats. Dude, I tell it, I'm gonna show you a picture of some night crawlers. Dude, these night crawlers, when it warms up, where I got my roosters over down in the field, and I've had them there since 2005, but these night crawlers looks like snakes down there, dude. And I got thinking, I was like, well, no wonder this dirt's so good, but I think the animals brings it, the feed, I guess the manure brings in the worms, I think, or something. But it's scary that the night crawlers around them chickens, the whole, like when the leaves falls and you go down there at night and flip a light on, the whole ground will just start moving with so many night crawlers. It's just crazy. Really, but that I tell you, about every 4 or 5 years, I'll pull my barrels off and I'll take a tractor and turn it under. About every 5 years, it freshens it up for the chickens. But I've done that a couple of times, and I've not had it tested or nothing. But the soil is it's crazy. You know what I mean? And I told my buddy, I said, well, it's got the feathers. That's feather meal. It's got, if you look at it, it's got about everything you want there, pretty close. But I've fooled around a lot with ocean forest what is it? Ocean forest, I guess. And I've tried Happy Frog too, but played with it some. But I like the organic. I like to push them during veg and let them slow roll during flower. If you'll notice, them real slow rollers and flower, them be usually the ones that's the first ones the jar to be empty. You know what I'm saying? It's just something about that slow roll. I mean, I don't know. I can make them explode, but they just be bag appeal. You know what I mean? But I like to slow roll. But now I push them during veg. I like to, I push them during veg, but I let them slow roll during flower. And that's just how I've always done it, But I've messed around with a lot of different salts, and which I be honest with you, I feed a little bit of some salts right in the organic, if I, need it. But I just like to Back like the game file, man. When you put one in your hands, you just go by feel. You know, you look at them and feel. You know, seems like there you play with them. So a strain, every strain's different. Seems like the Gorilla Glue 4, dude. It's like me. It'll eat anything you throw at it. You know, it's got an appetite. And then some of these newer strains is more finicky, and why they'll get by on the. You can run them all the way through on nothing. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just weird. You know, that's what I say. There's so much to it, man. It's amazing. But now I'm all time putting the two together, the game foul and cannabis. Anybody that knows me tell you I'm comparing the two all the time. You know, just for me, there's a lot of similarities there. You know what I mean? I got different breeds of game fowl. There's different strains of that. You know, I don't know. It's amazing, dude. You can have two of the best in the world and breed them, and the offspring won't be worth a nickel. You know, and then you just got to find those little golden nicks. I call them golden nicks, but that's when stuff goes good together. You know, more or less. You find them nicks and you ride them. You know what I mean? That's how I do it. And coal. I heard a couple of these guys talking about coaling. I coal hard, and you know what I mean. Every aspect, you got to if you want to get thoroughbreds. You know what I mean. They ain't all created equal. I know I have. You've seen families that have 3 boys. One of them was a gripper. One of them went worth a quarter. The other one, he was all right. You know what I mean. But you know what I mean. I think every plant's different. You know what I mean. Just some of them just don't make the cut, you know. They got to be made for it. They got to be built for it, you know. And that's how I look at it, you know. Be like me trying to do UFC fighting, you know what I mean, or something. I ain't built for it, you know what I mean. But you take somebody that's built for it. Now you probably make a fighter out of it, you know what I mean. But you take somebody, they got to be built for it, you know, and mentally and physically, you know. But it's just different, dude. It's amazing how, and his look down on Eagle. I didn't even know if I should mention it or not, but dude, hey, I'm proud of them. You know what I mean? They doing it. I mean, they've proved themselves in 5 countries. I mean, you know, the ones we made. You know, I'm pretty proud of my game fowl. Really am. They're a blessing, you know, just same as my cannabis. It's a blessing, you know. I come across, I was going to tell you, I got the Jerry Garcia out of Virginia, and the White Russian. He come out of Virginia, older guy, but I was blessed to get these good strains and good bloodlines. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. I tell people all the time, you can't make a racehorse out of a mule, you know, and that's what you got to have good genetics and you got to have good blood. Or if you're breeding dogs, same way. I got the same dogs I've had the same breed, same line of dogs for 22 to 24 years. I've got the same old plot dogs, coon hounds or bear hounds, whatever you want to make out of them. But you gotta, you know, you just gotta, and it ain't gonna happen overnight. You gotta, you know, start with them and cull and select the very best, you know, year after year after year, and then you get it down to a science. You know what I'm saying? Is how I do it, anyways. Like I say, there's 1,000 ways to do both, but it's amazing, dude. Lot to it. A lot, like I say, person never learn it all. You know, right when you think you figured something out, you'll get food. But it's amazing, just you know, how the two go in hand. You know how they go together. It amazes me, and just different. Wow.
Definitely pretty passionate about both there. You know, when I was talking to TCDR today, we were kind of talking about chickens. Yeah, asked, he's like, man, but you gotta ask him. You've already explained how Rooster comes in. He's like, how you gotta ask him how the Rooster comes into play. But you've already kind of answered that. But one thing I'm curious to know, since you do chickens and roosters, he mentioned that when he does his chickens around his property, he likes to move it like every
Yeah,
so often, like 5 years, and then he grows in that ground, just like you were saying. He's like, man, it's gold. That ground underneath's gold. I'm like, you don't like, put shit down and compost that. He's like, yeah, but still the shit that goes through that ground gets better and better every fucking year.
Eagle, that's 100% right. And I move mine every 2 weeks. What he's talking about is moving the tractors or the pens over. I like to move them over once they eat all that. I leave them there, and some of them will stay there for 4 months. If I'm breeding or something. But you move them over, and I ain't kidding you. I grew a sunflower seed a few years ago, a sunflower plant. It come up where it's in the chicken feed. I moved the cage and it sprouted and started growing. I set a wire basket around it to keep anything from bothering it. And man, I ain't kidding you. I had to take a hatchet and chop it down. I showed it to a couple people, and they was like, they older, a lot older than me. They was like, I have never seen a sunflower like that. They said, did you have to stake it up? I said, yeah, I had to stake it up. But it had a 5-gallon bucket full of sunflower seeds on it. Just unreal. But that's what I'm telling you. It's something which I believe it's the microbial deal there, because I can take my chickens out of that pen and 4 days in like rainy or damp weather, that whole ground will be covered with mycelium. The whole dirt, the whole square where them chickens was, it'll be covered with mycelium. It'll be completely covered. And after I get learning more on this computer deal here about it, I'm like, well, man, that's interesting, because I see them taking their ice and collecting it or whatever. I was like, daggone, I could get a boatload right there, even in fabric pots, dude. You put it in them, and like in the springtime, the mycelium will make a coat in a 1/2 inch thick all the way around the fabric pot. And you believe I never pH my water outside, which my creek runs about 7.5 to 8, and I had never pH'd it up until 2 years ago, and never had a deficiency outside. Don't get me wrong. This past year was the worst year I ever saw, but up until last year, I watered them with that high pH and never saw a deficiency. And I'm not talking 5 or 6 years. I'm talking, I've been here in this area since 05. So, you know what? Just weird. Makes me wonder, what all does, because they shed their feathers every year. The chickens do, they'll moult, they'll drop them, and they'll go right down in the ground, and then they'll grow new feathers back, every year. And I know, from what I've been learning on here and stuff, I see the oyster shells. It's mixed in our feed, and all that. But I believe I think it. I don't know. And like I said, these night crawlers here, 12, 15 inches long, big around your pinky. I don't know if it's all the worms. I don't know if it's the chicken droppings like that guy's talking about, but he's right. It's gold. You won't have no deficiency. Well, like I said, I grew there from 05 to 2020 and never saw a deficiency. Never saw not one. And just weird, it made me think, well, there's something in that that a supply, but it goes back, Eagle. I don't think a plant has, depending like we was talking about on strain, but I don't think a plant has to have a whole lot of a big whole lot of this or that, or you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. You can throw the night, you can supercharge them with some stuff and make them grow, but if you really get down to the technical of it, I don't think which like I said, I've been dealing with this good compost too. Maybe that's what it is. But to me, it's like some of these soils you buy in bags, I'd say you could run 2 runs to them and never feed them nothing. You know, some of the stuff you buy, you could probably run 2 full runs and just water them, pH water, you know, just water them. There was enough feed in it, but now we use like probably a 18-gallon tote, or sometimes we use 7-gallon fabric pots. But a lot, you know, which, and like I said, some plants is different than others. Some strains I've learned, some strains, like I say, they like to eat, but I don't think they have to have a whole big lot of, you know, NPK and foods or maybe my stuff's just, you know, loaded with stuff. You know, I believe you could run, like I say, 2 cycles on just watering them. You know, I don't think they require much. And like I said, they may not get as big as if you blast them with something, you know, but man, there's just something about them slow growers and slow finishers, you know, just slow rollers, I call them. I can't put my finger on it, and I ain't smart enough to know exactly what it is, but you just notice some of the better, you know, some of the better ones, they'll stack slower. I like big galaxies, I guess people calls them, the big fat diamond looking things, looks like a seed. I like plants with big thick galaxies, you know, galaxies or whatever. I like big ones, you know what I'm saying? And same way with trichomes. I like the big trichomes, you know. Seems to me like they better medicine, you know what I mean? I love that. I got some purple kush, dude. I'm gonna send you some pictures or some stuff when I get lined out, but it's got trichomes twice bigger than anything I've seen. I don't know if it comes from the African. I don't know what it is, but a friend of mine, he told me, he said, there's something special about this. And I've been playing with it for about 2 or 3 years now. And he had a good eye. He caught it, you know. I told him, I said, yeah, there's something real special about that. I said, yeah, real special about it. And I was lucky enough to get to play with it. And I've been playing with it. And I say I'll get some pictures. My dad burned phone. It's I send me and my buddies in the Philippines, Mexico. I send videos and stuff back, and my storage is full. I got to get a thing and empty my storage on my phone. I can't even send a daggone picture right now because it says I ain't got enough storage or something where it's full. My camera roll's full. But yeah, it's just amazing, dude. We'll never know it all, figure it out, but just with what we do know, you know, I feel like we're getting better. 5 years ago to now, I feel like as a whole, it's getting to where, you know, used to, like I said, after Christmas, green was gone till the next fall, you know, and heck now it's getting better, which I'd say there was probably more seeds popped last year than in a long time. You know what I mean? This quarantine deal, I had a lot of buddies. Actually, had one buddy that I thought I lost a strain, and I gave a guy some back in 2010, and he had them put up that long, and he got laid off for COVID, and I bumped into him, and he's like, I got him going. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, you remember back blah, blah, blah? I was like, yeah. He said, well, I finally popped them. I was like, dude, I thought I lost that. I said, I need a couple of them back. And he hooked me up. But there was a lot of seeds popped last year, I believe, more than, you know what I'm saying, more than usual. And then we had a shitty year, like I said, everybody popped them, but we had horrible weather. But I've been playing with some autos too, Eagle.
Do you have you?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you would make seed indoors or outdoors.
Both. I do both.
When you're breeding.
I do both, but I like the outdoor a lot better.
I would think so too. It seemed just like you were saying, when you're breeding outdoors, it seemed like you would get a bigger and hardier, strain out of it, even though it's the same strain. I believe, just like you're saying, you're breeding some hardiness into it. I think, you know, I've said this a lot of times. Indoor breeding, man, we're weakening this plant we love by
You,
so much indoor breeding. Heck yeah.
that's an auto right there, bud. I can't get a good picture, but that's some of experts crossed on Mephistos. Uh, but like I say, I get this camera, all this downloaded where I can get some room. I can actually show you some stuff, but I can't, like I say, but they, uh, they interesting, that's for sure. They're wide open from day one, ain't you? Them little fellers, them little autos. But you're right. I like, and that's what I was telling. It's like you gotta let them breed, raise it there for 2 to 3 years, and then it's like it climatizes and adapts to their spot. And some of it stay a lot the same, and then I think the grower has a little bit to do with it. But it's like if say you bred it in Michigan outdoors for 3 years, and you sent me seeds back, and I bred it into mine, same strain, but dude, man, I can't even tell you what it does. It wakes them, it helps them. You know what I mean? You're not adding no new strain to it. You just pretty much making a hybrid vigor with the same strain, you know. Or I think, hell, I don't really know a lot. Like I said, I don't know a lot of technical terms with it. You know, I put it in my words, hillbilly language, but just you know, it's amazing how it'll change a little bit. You know what I mean? And like it don't matter where you get seeds. I don't care where you go, get bank, what seed bank, whatever. But like the first year, yeah, it's okay. But if you'll cross that and then, you know, or breed it, just self it, whatever, and then breed it there again the next year, then you start seeing a little more, you know, you'll see a little more shine. But it seems like 2 to 3 years, uh, there's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? Big difference. Even trichome production, solidness. I mean, vigor. It it's amazing. It really is. Hell, I like I say, it just blows me away. You know how it you know it molds it a little bit. It changes it a little bit when you breed it over or out there in that state, and then but now I ain't I ain't done a lot of indoor breeding, uh, but you know, I got we got to wanting feminized seeds here 5 6 years ago, and so I made us a bunch. But anyways, I can't say nothing bad about them. They were they germination rate was great. Everything worked great. But what I've noticed seems like you get a little stronger. I don't know if it be immune system or what you call it, but outside, you know, and right up in the woods with a, you know, or any, I mean, you know, right in the timber or clear cut, or it seems like they get more stronger when you let them, you know, you make seeds up there in the mountains and dude, you can literally just walk out in the yard and, or walk out to your bed and just throw one over there and one over there and watch. I mean, you know, and even eagle, I got places that where I make my seed crosses, they'll be you'll go up there and get your seeds this year. Next year you go back, the whole bed will be full of sprouts that the plants dropped the year before. You know what I mean? Just pretty much laid there all year dormant, and then when the sun come out in the spring, they sprout and come up. Volunteer plants, I guess, or whatever. But that makes me, you know, I was like, wait a minute, you know, it amazes me how strong they can get, you know, versus like you said, breeding indoors or in a tent or in a room, you know. I can see what you're saying there, you know what I mean? I can understand that. It makes sense. A lot of sense.
I'm pretty impressed by your your methodology in breeding, to be honest with you, and wanting to keep a strain and acclimatize it to your area.
Yep.
Makes perfect sense, to be honest with you. You know, every season, the
Yeah.
strongest breeding with the strongest, couple
Right.
years of the strongest breeding with the strongest, and you've got something tough for your area.
That's right,
That
bro.
it makes, as agricultural standpoint, it makes perfect sense.
Yep. That's right. That's how I've always did it, bub. I mean, it just, I've seen so many people, they'll go give $250 for 10 seeds, which I think's crazy. But anyways, I got a lot of buddies that gives more than that for them. But they'll try 2 seeds out of a pack, and then it'll be like, here, man, this is junk. They don't even want to put the time in them. They expect in a gold mine right out the gate, which at that price, they probably should have a gold mine out the gate. But I tell him, I was like, dude, you gotta, it takes 2 runs to see what you're working with, and it's time consuming. They act like they ain't got that much time to waste, but hell, it's time consuming. But you just can't build something overnight. You know what I mean? Not something that's going to be, a good product. It takes time. But what I say, you run it 2 times and then you can give it the benefit of a doubt. And some stuff I have give away, Eagle, run it 2 or 3 times, get just not like it, give it to somebody. They tickled to death to get it. And hell, 3 or 4 years, I talked to them and they showed me something and I'm like, what? And they like, yeah, that's that. And I'm like, get out of here. This is that. Yeah. That's L5s or F4s or, whatever. And I'm like, dang. And that made me slow my game down and start looking around a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I was giving away some stuff that better than most stuff you could buy. You know what I mean? And the old guy told me, he said, and he's the one that learned me that, and he's right. Dude, if I'm telling you, that daggone amnesia haze that Nirvana's got, I believe you could grow it on a rock. It's a good, strong survivor. I dropped one time in my driveway, and it had like 4 inches of number 2 gravels on my driveway. And you think that thing didn't sprout and grow up through 4 inches of gravel? And my buddy was coming down one day, and he's like, "Dude, there's a sprout up there." I was like, "What?" And we got to looking. I said, "Get that out of there," And we got to digging the gravels back, and that thing went through 5 inches of gravels and into the dirt. And I was like, if you want that son of a gun to live, it would have died a month ago. But they pretty damn vigorous. But and too, back to that amnesia haze, the turd seems like no bugs or nothing to bother with. It sort of got a lavender like smell, like sort of crazy lavender smell. But if I had a bad bug problem that somebody did, I think that would be one to try, or even to breed into something that you want to make super bug resistant. This works.
What are some of the pests that you deal with over there? And here's
Well,
another question. I've been dancing around this one. Everybody's asking, where I try to respect, people when they get on. If they haven't said where they're from, then I kind of don't
right,
pry. But you've
right.
had so many questions tonight on where you're from. But that's up to you if you want to divulge that roughly or
Right.
not. But a lot of people want to know. So, other than where you are, what kind of pests do you deal with outdoors? What's your main enemy? Mike, Lucky Mike wants to know.
Thrips, um, caterpillars, and spider mites, and root aphids. Not seen many of them, but I hear out of them. Last year, I heard several people getting hit by them, which I told one guy to try some Damascus earth, and he said it worked. But I've not seen a whole lot of root aphids, but the little white aphids I've seen, and spider mites. Like I said last year, I don't know if it was all the rain or what. Dude, they was caterpillars, big, long as my index finger and big around as my index finger. I had never seen them. I said, hell, I'm gonna put them in a bucket and take them fishing. They were huge. I mean, little ones too, but they was stuff I hadn't seen, and I don't think I'd ever seen them. I saw last year from all the rain. And two, I noticed down next to the rivers and creeks, seems like they got a little worse. You know what I mean? Than up in the woods. But spider mites, aphids, and even like the blight. I don't know what it is or where it come from, whatever. But about in the last 10 years, and I keep thinking, Eagle, that it may have come from another plant. Like people, I like I said, I ain't, I ain't real smart about all this, but the reason I say they come from another plant because I'd see this damaging plants on the riverbanks before, and it's almost like a blight. It'll hit a bud and may go two sections of it, bud rot, I guess, whatever. But that I'd never seen that up until maybe 10 years ago. We never had a blight issue, and then it seemed like for 3 or 4 or 5 years there, hell, a lot of people give up on it outdoors. Especially people like say down by the creeks and rivers and stuff. It was horrible, and finally, I think maybe the seeds got stronger to it. I don't know what they ever did to fix the problem, but it was definitely an issue. You know what I'm saying? But I'd seen that same disease or whatever on other plants, like be fishing the creeks and rivers, and you'd see where that stuff had attacked other plants. And I always said, hell, right there's where that shit come from. I don't even know if it did or not, but I thought that's where it come from. Because it seemed like if you planted them down next to the creek beds, used to, it was a great place, but it seemed like after that, it's like I guess bud rot or blight, I don't know. And even in people's gardens, green beans and stuff, seems like you see a lot more of the blight and these stuff. That's the reason I try to tell people make your own seeds, even in your garden, for your garden food, you don't know what somebody's sending to Walmart and selling you, honestly, you know what I mean? I like to save my own seed for my green beans, my squash, everything, tomato, whatever, everything. But it hits, like I say, last few years has been tough on the outdoor. I'll be truthful. Last year was the worst year I've seen in my whole life. I think they said we got 19 inches over normal rainfall last year here. I was like, damn. But them years that starts drying off in August and out September and stuff, we've had some good years around, but like I say, seems like last couple of years it's been so rainy and humidity, and it's just horrible. Hard to even get, like I say, tomatoes by alone, anything else, green beans, whatever. But I'm from, but yeah, you can tell him I'm from right in the Appalachian Mountains there, pretty much Kentucky and Virginia, and 30 minutes one way I can be in Tennessee, 30 minutes the other way I can be in Virginia, or I live right up in the neck of Eastern, up in that little corner there.
Nice place to be. It's a nice place to be. That's for sure. Love it through there. So I seen another question in one chat that maybe you could help out. And can rabbits and chickens like coexist in like same area?
Yeah.
To maybe sweeten the pot on that dirt there,
Yep.
compost.
Yep. And I've got some guineas. I keep some guineas, Eagle. They keep all the hawks and hoot owls out of my little chickens. Uh, and them old guineas, they eat every bug, ladybug, every bug. But they're like, when something moves in them chickens, them guineas will start making that crazy noise. And most of the time, it'll hightail it out of there. It ain't never heard nothing like a guinea, and it's gone. But the coyotes are so bad where I'm at. I can't hardly, even our groundhogs, I tell you, our groundhogs and our rabbits about got wiped out around here where I'm at because some bright idea, they thought that they needed to turn a bunch of coyotes loose in here and save them or what, help the turkey population, I think is what they said. But damn, they turned them loose, and used to groundhogs was actually a nuisance pretty much. But after they turned them coyotes loose, dude, you wouldn't even see a groundhog or a rabbit. We just now getting rabbits back. I actually enjoy rabbit hunting with beagles, but I ain't just now starting to get some rabbits back. But the coyotes, they even little small dogs and cats and stuff. Heck, like you take a whole holler, they wouldn't be nobody have a small dog or a house cat. Used to they'd be packs of them walking up down the road, but there for a while it got to where you didn't even see small, if they didn't keep them in the house, you didn't even see small dogs. That's how bad it got. And hell, they turned bears loose. Now we are eat up with black bear where I'm at. Dude, just they're a big problem. They're a big problem, and I'm sure people likes hunting them, whatever, but the eating them, whatever. But they just a nuisance to me. I think the black bears, they need to keep them down there in Gatlinburg. They don't need to be up here. You know what I mean? But they'll tear your dog kennels down, tear swimming pools down. I've seen some crazy stuff the bears has done around here, drag deep freezers off of the people's back porches. I saw that last summer actually in the paper, but they ain't got no predators, I mean, hell, they go and they do a quota hunt. They draw so many tags every year and let like 15 hunt, and they just keep mass producing. They about more bear than they are human around here, I'm telling you.
That's pretty crazy. How are bear on the cannabis? Are bears pretty cannabis friendly, or would they go in there and just fucking have a fucking good old time in your shit?
I had some a few years ago, Eagle. I had some on a reclaimed mountain, and they planted olive bushes all around that mountain, that reclaimed mountain. So I thinking, well, there's a good place, So I stuck her full and went up there one evening, and I was almost thought somebody sabotaged me, I was almost pissed, and got to looking, and that bear had wallered that whole plant, actually 4 plants. He wallered them down on the ground, never took a bud. He just wallered and rode all in them like he was wanting to get the scent or oil on him, He wallered that shit, and I started finding buds probably 500 foot before I got to the place. They had stuck to his hair, and as he walked, they fell off. I was like, yep, they robbed me. I got out there, and heck, it was everywhere. I mean, just mangled. I was like, well, nobody would have done that. And got to looking around, and I said, daggone, I better be getting out of here. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure he was still pretty close. But that thing had wallered 4 plants down in the dirt. Looked like you took a log, big as a car tire, and just rolled over them 4 or 5 times. I was like, what the hell? And elk could do the same damn thing. About 6 months later, or maybe 8, had some elk do the same thing. They like I don't know if it's the smell they want on them or what, but they'll just get in it and waller, bath in it pretty much.
You ask me, that's even worse. That's worse. I'd rather have
Rub
them
it in
eat
your
it.
face.
It's just being wasted if they waller in it. Shit.
I'm serious. Had actually, like I said, 2 different occasions that happened.
It's crazy. Like I said, there's no how you gonna get pissed at a bear?
Right.
How you get pissed at a bear?
That's right.
So what's your indoor setup like? When and why did you come indoors?
Well, to be honest, we pretty much the weather. Um, you know, like for testing and running one run and seeing what this is going to do or what that's going to do, it's the only way to go, I think. But and like I say, fooling with autos, this, that, and the other. I actually use metal aldehyde and ceramic metal aldehyde up until probably a year, 2 year ago. I got me some Grower's Choice 680s and 720s, and I'm just now, I'm still playing with them. You know what I mean? Hell, they'll run on nothing. You can about, well, what I'm saying is power wise, you can't even run them over half power, or I can't, my situation, but I like them. I'm liking them. I am, but pretty much. And to be honest with you, I like the indoor more. I don't know if it's where I did the outdoor so much, but I mean, and I like, there is a difference in that. You know what I mean? There's a difference in it. That sun's got something to do with it. But like, if you want to test something or run something and just, see what you do, what you're working with, shit, good tent. That's the only way to roll, or checking something out, or heck, just for personal medicine, work good.
Is the indoor where you may keep some of the bested strains? Do you keep some of the bested ones indoors just so you know they're always safe?
Yeah,
Always safe for you.
that's right. And then, you know, April rolls around, we'll let them have a suntan or two. Uh, let them get us a couple suntans, freshen them up. But yeah, definitely keep them, keep the, keep them rolling. Gene poo.
So blight was pretty bad last year, even up here for the outdoor. What do you do down there to kind of as a defense?
Well, like I was telling you, sort of finding strains that is stronger against it and acclimatizing them to your area, what they're going to be fighting again, But also, I'd be honest with you, I've I've got or like certain certain terps or something, certain pests like certain terps, I think, or something, certain ones. But they's they's a little bit, and well, I was going to tell you, cayenne, well, not cayenne pepper. I used some cayenne pepper, but the pepper I used, habanero peppers, dehydrated and ground up. Uh, Mix you some water and a spray bottle, spray a little bit of that on them. Even I put a lot of people, they probably panic out, but I'll put a pinch of cigarette tobacco right in with it, little nicotine in it, spray them bad boys down, and you don't have to worry about the bugs. But when it rains so much, it washes it off. So as you spray it on, the rain will wash it off, But the Damascus earth stuff I've been playing with it some, and it seems to really, it works really good in the chickens for wormer and stuff. But I think it also works good as pretty much like I believe, put you a little on top of your pots or whatever, or round them in the ground, put you a circle or something all around in a circle. It seems to help. I had a couple buddies that had pretty good success with that last year. Whatever, Damascus earth or whatever it is. Can't even say it, but you know what I'm talking about, the food grade stuff. But it seemed to work pretty good. But a good, strong thrive, is works good too, But I think they pretty much build up a immune system to certain things. You know what I'm saying? Seems like it may not be an immune system, but it's like they had built up a little bit of a defense to it. When after you run them a few times in that environment, too. But sulfur, I like the sulfur for a lot of bugs and pests and stuff too. But they just, that's about all really. And then like I was telling you, when it rains for 10 days straight and stops for 3, and it's just hard. You can't keep nothing sprayed. You know what I mean? You just got to have a good vigorous strain or go, like I say, now they get in these greenhouses and all that. I think that'll be a key. That'll be a really helpful key in the outdoor, will be the greenhouses. That way you can control a little bit better, So hopefully, everything goes good in the legal states and stuff. I would recommend outdoor in a greenhouse, or even a little small, cheap greenhouse, just something you can keep all the more, just keep, you don't have to keep it all off, but if you can just keep it from being sobbing wet for days in, and it don't even matter till, for 5th week in the flower, that's when, that's when it gets bad. It can ruin your harvest in a few days, or a week or something, it's just bad.
What would you say is your biggest problem that you have there, as far as intrusive problems? Is it pests or is it molds?
Well, I'd never had. Be honest with you, I'd never seen a pest issue back until this past couple of years. I'd never saw it, till all this rain, swampy weather. But seems like when you have them real wet, like we had, seems like it brings in stuff that, I don't know. It seems like that's the years you have bad bugs, you'll have a lot of rain. It seems like the rain's what brings the bugs or something. But or was you talking about the strain that they attacked the easiest or something?
No, I was asking what is your biggest problem, your biggest pest, your fungus or the pest?
Probably it would be pretty much the powdery mildew over, would be worse than the bugs. But like I say, most of the time they'll cruise all the way till week 5, 6, or 7 of flower. You'll never see a hiccup until week 5, week. Sometimes if it's something real hard and tight, could see it in week 3, a flower. But seems like you won't see none of the powdery mildew or the bugs or nothing until about 4th week of flower on out. It's just crazy. But I guess where the nubs are getting denser and tighter, they get soaked up like a sponge. I even had eagle this past year. I made 2 seed crosses, and I had the seeds was sprouting and growing out of the buds. I picked them out and put them in pots, and they grew. I grew them. And I'll tell you what I learned, Eagle. I learned that a plant drops female seeds first. Because think about it, in Mother Nature. But the first ones that plant dropped was females, and then the males and the females fell. You know what I mean? Learned me something. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But it was from all the rain and stuff. Because, like I said, the seeds like literally sprouted and was growing out of the buds. It looked like at first I thought it was little white ropes in it, and I pulled one out, and it was a little seed that sprouted. And I was like, well, dang, these seeds ain't gonna be worth shit, you know. They already sprouted. But luckily, some of them, you know, were great. Still had the hull on them, but I learned something out of that deal. I did. The first, or in that my situation, that's what happened. You know what I mean? But them first seeds that plant dropped were females. And you know, I like to try it again, just which I hate to, but I like to try it again just to see if it, you know, if it holds true again, you know, because they was regulars, you know, it was a regular male female breed.
Like an interesting process.
It, like I say,
I would love to see if you could find some truth to that. To be honest,
I would like to try it again. I told my buddy it'd be actually easier to do indoors, you know. Take your white sheet and run them out. First seeds it drops, test them, then gather you know the second seeds drops. But from what I don't know if it's just that them's the ones that popped, you know, or what. But I'd like to test that again just to see, because I pulled 10 for 10 females out of it, and how, you know what I'm saying? How else? I think no other way I could have done that, you know. That's what made me put it together. I was like, wait a minute. Then I give a friend some, and of the second ones that dropped off of it, and some of them showed me, you know, I thought they might have been feminized or something, which they shouldn't have been. But then when he tried the second batch, they showed 50% males, 50% females. But them first ones that fell off that plant, or I, you know, pulled some. Like I said, I pulled some had sprouted, and like I say, the taproots was inch long. You know, curled out of the bud. Just that's how much rain. Which we had a lot of rain too. You know, it's horrible last year. But I'd like to test that again, just to see if it was luck of the draw, or if maybe they do. But if you think about it, out in the wild, you know, them males grow faster, they show earlier, you know, and for them, which I mean, I know in the wild they'd probably be all different stages of development of males, but still, it, you know, it'd be worth. I'm interested in checking that out again. But all the man have to do is just time a little sheet at the bottom to catch the seeds. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to do, and don't, you know what I mean? I may do that. Well, actually, I will do that. When I make a run, you know, just to see. I'm curious about it.
I am too. I can't wait to see what you come up with that. Please keep me informed.
Will.
So, do you have the 21 season ready, or what will be the 21 season?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm hoping if this COVID stuff gets over with and on out of here, I got some land leased in Oklahoma, and then I got a buddy that is willing to let me use some land in Virginia, which Virginia I think is going to be 2 years out, maybe. But heck, I thought about, you know, if everything got well, my plans for COVID hit was to do this year outdoor in Oklahoma, you know, but I don't know. Help him, you know, more or less, whatever. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But I'm just going to play it by ear to see what happens, you know. But I actually I've actually been gearing up for regardless of where I'm at. You know what I mean? I've been getting in gear. I'm ready to get out in the woods and out on the rhino and razor and just get out in the hills, you know. Been laid up in the house pretty much for a month or so here, in and out, and I'm ready to get out and enjoy some, you know, mountains, getting out in the hills, a little fishing, whatever, you know, just help a feller's mind. You know what I mean? Hell, like I told you, I found your show there. I watched stuff on YouTube, and I found you when I found you there, and well, dude, it's helped me. You know, gives me motivation, dude. You give me motivation, man. Hell, I was just, you know what I mean, wasn't Rooster time yet, and I noticed, Eagle, we was talking about that grow and help. Look here, same way. Say the roosters is seasonal, pretty much. 6 months out of the year. You know what I mean? The other 6 months, you just take good care of them and let them get their feathers and all that, and you raise your young ones, whatever. But anyways, and the growing, you know, it's seasonal. But I noticed that during the winter when I was snowed in the house and stuff, that's when my anxiety bothered me, my depression, have panic attacks and shit. Just, you know, crazy, like, and never, dude, when I'm doing the gardening and all that, never feel it, never think about it. But, you know, and like I said, you sure helped me. You just don't know what you helped me. Hell, this is my first time ever being on one of these internets or what. I mean, on a panel or you know, YouTube and video or whatever. I ain't never, you know what I mean. Yeah, first time. It was all right. But now you helped me, man. Because I was pretty much doing my thing, but you know, not talking to nobody much, not seeing nobody, and just, you know, I mean, it's something in the mind, dude. I mean, it does you good to say hello to somebody, or hey man, how you been doing today? You know, shoot shit with them or whatever, bullshit with them. But I'm telling you helped me, dude. Give me a whole, you know what I'm saying? Pulled me out there. You throw me a hand, pulled me out. I appreciate that. Sure did. Even like being on
Appreciate
this.
those kind words, my friend.
It's the truth. But even like being, you know,
Man,
on the computer.
man, you're a hell of a guy, man. I hope that with all that being said, man, you're a hell of a guy, man. I hope you take me up on, you know, keeping the Zoom number and popping in on the wormholes whenever possible, man.
Yeah.
Always great to have some good folks in there, man. Take
Hey,
advantage
they
of
are
it.
some good people in there, dude. Hey, I ain't seen nothing but love, dude, from everybody, you know. And that's what I say. A lot of people, you know, they just, I don't know, but you never have an issue out of people that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's bad apples in every basket, but what I'm saying is, you know, most people just wants to be left alone and chill out. You know what I mean? Not you just cool people. You know, they just late. You know, you don't do people wrong and stuff. I mean, you know, they's good people. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, they's probably crooks and cons, you know, too. But most of the time, you know, it's about like your dog. If your dog don't like somebody, I'd say you better not like somebody. You know, I mean, that's just. But what I'm saying is, how do I say it? You can get a feel for somebody, you know, when you see them talk and talk to them. You can get an idea of what kind of person they are, you know, or what, you know what I'm saying. I've used that judgment all my life. I mean, you know what I'm saying. You can, as my old buddy used to say, you can tell a possum when you look at one. You know.
Oh, I do.
You know.
That's it's this community. You're right though. There's everybody in this community has a lot of respect for one
They
another,
do.
and that's a lot of things. When I bump into people and people tell me about the show, their experience with the show, the community, they obviously say some nice things about the show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's to be said. What else are you going to say to the guy you're talking to? But one of the things that they always make a point of is the community, the chat. That's one of the things that's always a point that when somebody talks to me, they're like, man, then your chats are very welcoming, very respectful. There's never no bullshit going on in there. There's nothing but great folks hanging out in there. And I'm like, it totally makes the show. You know what I mean?
It
That
does.
chat makes the whole thing, to be honest with you. But that's what always gets brought up is how great the community is, the people that hang out here, and how respectful they
Right.
are of one another. And
It's awesome.
proud to have all these people hang out here. That's for sure.
Got a, I'm telling you, good people. A good, you know what I mean? A good whole, just, it runs smoothly. And even the way you do it, you know what I'm saying? You helping people, man. I'm telling you. Uh, and I believe I'm a firm believer in if you can help somebody, help them. And believe me, I'm telling you from experience. I was in a dark hole. You helped me get out of it. And it, especially what the deal. Winter time dealing with all this cold junk and all. I mean, yes. And I see what you say, and uh, I know a lot. Like I say, I've watched about a lot of them. When I found you, I ain't missed one since. But I'm telling you, dude, a lot of respect for all of them. Uh, like a more or less good sportsmanship people. You know what I mean? Just good people. That's right. Uh, I agree with you. So, what's your favorite strain to grow, Eagle?
Ooh.
Well, not even grow,
Mm.
just for your personal stash jar.
I move things around a lot, man. Lately, I actually have cleaned house of a lot of stuff, and a lot of things are new. But one of
Okay.
my favorites that I've always kept around for quite some time was Purple Death Star. Was a nice sativa leaving strain, very gassy, and then 9 Pound Hammer I kept around for a long time. Both of those strong strains both ways, sativa, indica. But we were talking about this last night. One of the biggest reasons why they stayed around was they almost trimmed themselves. It was like pump, 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 chink, 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 done. You know what I mean? And as good as they were, that was one of the reasons that made them great right there. It just, I love to smoke them. I love to trim them, and that's a couple of the reasons why them two are some favorites right there for sure. For sure. I've got a few strains floating around right now. I got Pine Tar Kush floating around that I'm waiting to harvest that I'm pretty excited about. And I got some of these Xmas seeds that somebody mailed me that was nice enough to with a name like Xmas, it's got a screen pine. It's just
Yeah.
got a screen pine. So I love the pine, man. It's very clear headed. It's one of them
Yep.
things. It's good for my chest. It's good for my head, and I mean, it's good to like when I'm like wanting to learn, but it's even more like you double. I like there's certain strains, the gassy ones I like because one I guess it's for the same reasons as the pines. Kind of one, I can get shit done. Be kind of where two total different effects. For me, two the gas, I'm like, I'm out. One, up and running. Two, out for the count. You know what I mean? Couch lock. But for me, for the pines, it's like one is uplifting, and I want to like do something. I want to read a book. I want to fucking get some stuff done. Two, I want to sit down with some friends and fucking laugh my face off. You know what I mean? Priorities have shifted to fun if I double up on the pine. So that's one of the reasons I really
The
hold
pine,
on to the pine.
it's like it makes you sharper. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it sharpens your mind up. You know what I mean? You'll be, for instance, if I'm going to go shoot a gun, I like to smoke the Northern Light. You know what I mean? Piney stuff. It just like it. I don't know, man. It's like it makes you focus. Uh, Something you may not even noticed yesterday when you walked to your truck. You smoke half one of them. Wow, man, that's amazing colors on that leaves, or something. It sharpens you up, makes you more focused, level headed. I think. Hell, it may even make you smarter. I don't know, but it's like it sharp. And he's talking about the 9-pound hammer, dude. Had a buddy about 5 years ago, I guess, maybe a little longer. I ain't sure, but he had got some 9-pound hammer, and it had 6 seeds in it. His bag seed, whatever, but it was phenomenal. And he knew I like to experiment with seeds, so he brought the seeds to me. I kept it for 4.5 years, or 4.5 or 5 years. I kept it, and the reason I lost it was power went out for 14 days, and I saved some others and let that and go pretty much. But dude, thumbs up to Jinx, or whoever, the 9-pound hammer. And I crossed it with Gorilla Glue, crossed it with the Josie Wells cut. And dude, you couldn't ask for no better. You know what I mean? People still come up to me like, wanting it, just stuck out. You know what I mean?
It was my 9-pound hammer has always been my fucking sleeper strain. I don't even
Yes.
want to fuck with that shit during the day. I want that one right before that's my nighttime bed. Right before I want to go to bed, that's what I want is a hammer. And
That's
anybody that's ever told me they've had trouble with sleep, I've went, try that. And
that's
they've
right.
always came back going, you pick my number.
Yep. You're right. You're definitely right.
Yeah. So do you make I heard you mention the hash there. You make yourself some hashes.
Oh yeah. Uh, I do it 2 ways. I'll be honest with you. I make bubble cold water hash, bubble hash too, and I make dry sift hash. And then I got these little presses that makes like hashish sticks. They look like a tar plug, but they'll be real gold looking. And I got to making and playing with them. And dude, uh, it's a gotta have. I gotta have a can full of them. I mean, that's the something I get to hurting real bad or something. I gotta have it. But I really like the hashish and the coke. Well, the bubble. Actually, I found some bubble. I was moving some stuff around earlier and found a good chunk of bubble, and I was like, "Nah, I didn't even know it was there." And heck, I put it in that, and oh man, total different. It'd been probably 2 weeks since I had any, and I was moving this around and found that, and I was like, "What better time could I have found that? I'm going to talk to Eagle. That's perfect. It's meant to be." So, yeah, I rubbed her down, put the worm in it. Well, hell,
Hell yeah.
I still got a little bit of that left, but awesome
I,
medicine, dude.
I love me some hash. I love me some hash. So, which would do you prefer? So, do you prefer the dry sift or do you prefer the bubble?
Well, I be honest with you, I like the dry sift, uh, and mainly too, I think, or what helps with that is I got that. Like I said, I got them little. It's like a little dye, makes the little looks like tar plugs, but and you put them in the oven, do what just warm them up so long, and they turn so pretty and gold, and heck, dude. But now, like just then, I had some of the bubble, hadn't had none in 2 weeks. Both of them really, either or. One's to me is just as good as the other, really. But seems like, I don't know, I like both of them really. And I got me a press. I've been playing around with a rosin press a little bit. It's okay, you know what I mean. But I'm more of a joint smoker. I smoke outside most of the time while I'm working, and I just smoke them most of the time. But when I got hash, I fix me a couple separate ones up, with hash, or I even put the rosin in them, that I press. But works out good. Awesome how ferrets come, I can remember beating trim with a stick, getting them keef, but I'm telling you, I think I like it all, I good joint with that on. I think it just helps it, full spectrum as we call it or whatever, but I like the full spectrum deal. A little bit of every bit of it, Seems like the dab they hit you hard and fast, but they don't last as long, to me. And then hell, I'll smoke shit out of them for 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll quit them for a few weeks because it gets to where your flower won't work as good if you hit the dabs a lot. It seems like in a week or two you get invincible. I lay off of them, for a while, lay off the dab and just smoke the dubs, and you can tell a big difference. But then when you go back to that dab, it'll ring your head. You know what I mean? Boy, they hit you quick. I don't see how they hit you so fast, Eagle. Inhale, exhale, you're done. That's crazy, isn't it?
Well, I actually think what's up with the dabs there. I agree with you. They hit you hard, but it doesn't seem to carry for a long period of time. And my thoughts on that is because they've removed the fats and lipids out of it. To be honest with you, fats is kind of what keeps it in your system. So you remove that, and you're taking out the time span. You're taking out the battery, in my opinion.
Heck yeah, that's probably what it is. Because I mean, uh, I there's more to it than just that one terpene. I mean, I agree, but I'd say you're right. That makes a lot of sense. And good seems like good terpy herb. Seems like it's if it or put it this way, if it's got a lot of trichomes on it, it's going to be pretty good. Whether it be how it hits you will be a little different, but if it's super frosty, usually it's going to be pretty good. And I mean, one way or the other, it's going to be pretty good. If they ain't got the trichome coverage, I don't think they got a lot of the different terps, or maybe it's all different. I don't even know, but I like for it to be super frosty. Seems like that's helps. I put it that way. And I've smoked some that didn't have a lot of frost on the outside that would, leave you talking to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, but all different strands, I guess, got a little different uses and effects. Like you was just talking about bedtime. I agree with you 100%. Some of it'll put you in the bed, and some of it'll put you out of the bed. It's crazy.
So, do you have anything that you do in particular that you think that helps bring the frost and the density? You know what I mean? Do you have
Yes.
something that you add that feels your secret sauce?
Well, I think it's all a bunch of. It's got to be in the genetics. I think a lot of it's in the genetics, but you can play with that daggone light, that timer, and do some crazy stuff. I saw some buds. I'll send you a picture sometime, but I saw some crazy stuff going on with playing with the light hours, the darkness hours, this boy can grow buds off of buds. You ever seen it done, Eagle? Like crowns, look like 4 buds coming off another bud. Look like almost like horns, and I mean it's weird looking shit. My buddy can do
Sounds
that.
like they went like a nitrogen spike later towards flower there, and then kind of wound them back out. That's pretty crazy. I mean, how's the product in the end there after they've kind of taken it back and forth a little bit there?
Well, I don't know what. Like I say, I'm just learning a little bit about it. One of my buddies been playing with it, but like, and the temperatures, dude. I think the number one defense that the cannabis plants got, or what it produced, what triggers most trichomes is cold weather. Dude, I've seen some stuff that just not be that frosty, and then frost hit them, and a week after it frosted on them, they'll get a little purple shade in them, but they would be like super dense and I mean, just unreal that the trichomes hit brought on in 2 weeks, one frost. You know what I'm saying? Blew my mind. They're just crazy. And I think you can make which I don't, let me ask you something. You can help me with this. But do you think it takes longer to get amber trichomes under the LEDs than it does the CHF, metal aldehydes and ceramic and stuff?
I actually think they come quicker, to be honest.
Under the LEDs?
The LED, yeah.
Okay.
Much quicker. They shave off, under my experience, man, the LED flower time under the LEDs shave at least a week off. At least a week off flower time.
Finishing faster, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha. I agree. Actually, just talking to that, I run some Bruce Banner, and it actually finished faster than anything in the garden. And I might have been throwing a little too much light at them too, and a little too much CO2. But man, that thing, it was like it was supercharged. It finished way before anything else, and I'm gonna run some more and check it and see. But it was like a 55-day flower or something crazy, and which I think at the time I didn't have a PPFD meter, and I think I might have been throwing, maybe a little too much PPFD in there too. But seemed like, like you was just saying, it finished I never had it finish that fast under metal aldehyde. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, which maybe I tell you something too. Like I say, I'm still playing with that light, the density, the power of it. Maybe I should have upped it a little sooner, but like I had a hard time getting some amber trichomes out of some auto flares, and like I don't know what would have caused that, unless I had the room too hot. I don't know.
Well, in that in particular case, I'm gonna want to say I don't. Again, this is strictly speculation here. I haven't ran a lot of autos, coupled two shitty runs, but what I'm thinking here is them in particular strains that they may be wanting to show more photo period leaning side of the auto than you're used to. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that could be part of it.
Because it's the first time I ever run that strain too. You know what I mean? I didn't know really when it finished, But what got me is the water leaves or fan leaves had fell off, stems fell out of the nut, and I'm like, man, this thing's ready, But it seemed like, which I dropped the temperature, you know what I'm saying? I shaved a little time off on the timer and dropped temperature, and they come around. But it, you know what I'm saying? It just puzzled me. You know what I mean? I was like, over here I have one finish early, and then over here I got one that won't finish. Just
same strain.
No,
same thing.
No different.
Yeah, I think I would almost let her go just to see if she would have fattened up on you.
There you go. I had some veg in it just needing to go, and I could have. Well, actually, I got one of them. I set one of them out and let it get good and cool. I wanted to see what I could just experimenting with it. You know what I'm saying? Which it's hell, it's been warm the last few days here, but it'll be back cold soon. I was gonna just play with a little cold weather on one of them and see how fast it would trigger that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I believe a person play with that timer and stuff. Or what I'm saying is every strain's probably got a sweet spot on the timer. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I've even heard of a few growers trying to find, basically the region that strain came from and trying to match light cycle and temperature to where the strange regional from.
Makes sense.
So I we talked a little bit about outdoors. Well, we've talked a lot about outdoors, but when you talk about how your strains get more durable over the years, I never asked you: are you in ground or are you in pots? And do you think that if your strains are getting more bulletproof over the years, you think that that's part of the equation? You know what I mean? Is a good myco system? Just
Mm-hmm.
you know toughen them
Picking
up
up.
like that as well.
Um, they're in the ground, be honest with you, but um, I do a lot of pots, but usually I only run autos and pots where I can, move them if I need to, move them around or whatever. But most of what I'm talking about is in the ground, like beds. It's, made beds, run them for 6-7 years in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Same bed, same place, just next season, but and I don't even know. Like I say, I don't know if it's something to do with I can't figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But all I could think is maybe they climatizing, maybe, and then again, maybe, it's in the forest, not been logged, not been run through. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the microbes is that strong or something. I can't put my finger on it. I don't really know. But like I say,
I
I
can't
know
help
I
but
can.
think it's got a good portion to play with it. Be honest with you, here in
Mhm.
this run, sitting here side by side, we did the earth boxes in the cocoa. You know what I mean? Same strain, side by side. The ones that were in the earth boxes, which was a Coots mix, basically, Smiley's take spin on it, and the plant structure from side by side was completely fucking different, to be honest with you. The earth boxes, the ones that were closer to a soil base, were thicker. The branches were
Yes.
more girthier in structure. They were completely different plants. And with that being said, like you're talking about outdoors in soil, all around healthier plant from being in a down earth, roots right down in the earth into a
Right.
spreading microsystem. I can't help but think you've got a good start on a base of a plant anyway. Then, like we're talking about, breeding for selection, strongest of the fittest out of what's already a good thing. I can't help but think, breeding that way would only produce nothing but a stronger strain, which would be gimpier bred indoors, and like say
Yes.
cocoa. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just can't help but think that's a huge factor.
I agree. And that's like I say, the first time, say you buy a pack of seeds and you run it in a bucket in a tent, sometimes I don't think people's getting to see the full potential of it. You know what I'm saying? What it really can do. And even I tell people, you know, run them that first year and back cross, self one, cross one, do something, because I've noticed that say you bring it back to itself the first year, it seems like the second year everything goes up, every box goes up, and it keeps getting better, and even say if 5 years down the road, you can still go back to the original dad or mother, I mean, it's just amazing, dude. It's really amazing. But I believe seeds climatize, and I think what you're going to be growing in, you need where you're getting your seeds needs to be made in that kind of, whether it be cocoa soil or rock or anything, I think you can, they express themselves different, is what I'm saying. And just like you said right there, same strain too, what I'm saying? And if you, say you didn't run the earth box and you just think, you'd think that was the potential of that strain, and but what I'm saying, it's like, staking them up and strands that you got to take stakes and, they won't hold themselves up pretty much when they start getting toward middle of flower or end of flower. Seems like you got bigger stems in the, in the mountain or in the earth, seems like bigger stalks, maybe it's something to do with all the sandstone silica. I mean, I don't know, but dude, they are animal outside, and then you bring one of them animals and put it in a tent and raise it, you're gonna get an animal, you know what I mean? They go crazy, vigorous. I'm talking grow an inch or 3 inches in 24 hours. I mean, it's crazy. Just crazy stuff I've seen, done over the years with stuff. You know what I mean? These old guys had it figured out, and they didn't even have a computer. So tell me how they must have tested a lot, didn't they? I mean, really, they knew this shit. You know what I mean? Before a computer ever come out. But yeah, just wild. And like north side of the mountain versus the south side of the mountain. There's one side of the mountain nothing won't grow on. You know what I mean? I mean, that's bottom line, ain't it? But it just amazes me. It's amazing. It's crazy. And I tell you, something else, Eagle. I believe man play with them lights. Like the biggest trees I ever growed, they got sunlight from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The rest of the time they was under poplar trees, probably 200 foot tall. And I'm not kidding you, which they had been chickens there for probably 4 years or 5 years. Like he was talking about, I moved the chicken cage, and I'm not kidding you, bro. Them suckers beat stuff that was in full sunlight from when it come up to when it went down. And that makes me wonder, why not crank that light down? But they got it now where you can do it all this with your phone. But I believe start them out easy and then bump it up by about 1 o'clock, crank that baby, just experiment around with it, because I've watched this stuff over the years, and I'm telling you, the biggest trees I ever grew, they didn't get no sun. They was in the shade pretty much until 1 o'clock. And from 1 to 5, they got the full spectrum of sun, and it made me wonder, maybe that's what made them get so big. They was reaching and stretching, maybe. I don't know. But I'm talking pulling, 2.5 peas a plant, dry. And never fed them nothing but pH water, But it's just crazy, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot to it. And I'll be honest with you, I've tell everybody that I believe that it'll do its thing on a lot less. It don't need a whole lot, but don't get me wrong, you can boost it and push it and supercharge it, whatever you want to do. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking actually make it from start to finish healthy. I don't think they require a lot, Eagle. But now I've been growing, just what I'm saying, heck, I've seen some crazy stuff. Like I say, 2 runs through bag soil, you know, and never feed them nothing. I don't think, I mean, I think they'll do their thing on a lot less is what I'm saying, you know. Everything's probably, I mean, getting to the, when you start playing with there's a fine line is what I'm trying to say. There's a fine line between too much versus, you know what I'm saying. And far as like where your baseline is, I think the baseline's real low. They'll do their thing. They'll finish, go from A to B on a lot less than what people thinks is what I'm saying. Man, they vigor. They want to go. They want to live. They want to grow. They want to reproduce. You know, don't they? I mean, they want to stay around. They got a livability about them, man. I've seen them growing, like I said, 6 inches of gravel. Just blows me away. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Just I've seen you know, I've even set them out, and it's just crazy. I've seen them start and finish. And well, I mean, look at these solo cups. I mean, daggone, they run one, start and finish it in a solo cup. You know what I mean? Hell, they ain't much in that. You know, I mean, they which they'd have to feed it. But what I'm saying is, them suckers don't require much to do it. You know what I mean? And I don't think you gotta have a whole big lot of light either. But now, like I said, they's like, you know, you can push them. But everything's got a breaking point, is the way I look at it. You know what I mean? You can push anything, but everything's got a breaking point. I'd rather stay on the lower end of the line. Is over. Once you hit the top, go to the other side, you're done. You know what I mean? You go over, you're over. As long as you keep them coming, keep them a little hungry, you know, they'll thrive harder. You know what I'm saying? Keep them thriving.
Yeah, it's easier to add than it is to take away, especially out of a medium like that.
Right.
Makes perfect sense.
Heck yeah. A lot of people they don't even know what I'm
I
talking
don't
about.
know.
But, you know,
I don't know if you've been able to see chat today, but man, chat's been giving you props all day long, man. All night long, they've
good.
said nice
Hey,
things about
shout
it,
out
man.
every one of them. Heck yeah, good people right there. Good people.
Yeah, it sounds like you're growing some fire over there. That's for sure. That sounds like you definitely know what the hell you're doing and got a
Man,
good grasp on how to do it.
have but a year, you know. I'm just getting a feel, but I'm all time experiment. I like to try new stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think that you gotta you gotta pop them to find that next Elvis Presley. You know what I mean, or whatever. You know, you gotta go through them. You know, find what you like. Cause I'll be honest with you, chunky, super chunky is a hard thing to find nowadays. You know, I didn't realize it, Eagle, till I get to looking around, and dude, a lot of people ain't got them dense. You know what I mean? Just super chunky, super hard. That shit's about gone, ain't it? I mean, it's around, and like I said, I hope they legalize it federally all the way across the United States. We'll see strands that we've never seen before. There'll be stuff people breaks out that people ain't seen in a long time. You know what I mean? Um, these people holds that stuff sacred, man. Like one of them let their grandkids have it and stuff. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
You know, hopefully that is something that we see come about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Legacy strains. It'd
that's
be
right.
cool to fucking see some legacy fucking strains be
Culture,
passed down from generations to generations.
yes, it happens. I'm telling you. You know, it's a culture, dude, and that's what I love about it. There's 1,000 ways you can grow this plant. I've tried at least 1,000. Uh, you know what I'm saying? But there's 1,000 ways to do it, and hey, if it works for you, what works for me may not work for you. You know what I mean? But you gotta find out what works for you. You know, what puts the numbers or what you like, whatever, hell, it's your, you the one going to be using your medicine. If you settle for anything less than what you need, what I'm saying is, you know, which, most people will be happy just to grow their own medicine. You know what I mean? A lot, that's what sucks is that we live in a country that people can't even grow their own something that helps them so many different ways, and then they get treated bad for it. It ain't no different than ginseng, bro. That's what they do here in mountains and stuff. I mean, to me, it's a herb just like ginseng. I mean, no different. They make different kinds of medicine out of ginseng. Look at the medicine they can make out of this plant. Just it ain't even right, dude. But that goes back to they want you on that man-made monkey dope, don't they? Crazy.
Unfortunately, so.
Yep.
And the other reason they like you on that is because they create fucking more deficiencies, so they can give you more fucking medicine.
Yes.
Cannabis is fucking. You get cannabis. It helps everything. You don't fucking need another drug on top of cannabis for your fucking whatever. It's sick. It's just.
You're right. You're right. It's a stomach pill, nerve, pain. It's got from A to Z in it, and I agree with you. You're 100% right. It's got. I mean, don't get me wrong. You may have like it goes back. You may have to find a strain that suits you, but I guarantee you, there's a strain that'll help you one way or the other. Whether it be your stomach, can't sleep, can't eat. Man, I've seen this. Hey, I've seen it do some amazing stuff, bub. With my own eyes, I've seen it. And I think, be honest with you, Eagle, wait and see if this CBD ain't like the best thing for the gout that was ever made. You know what I'm saying? Me and you should patent that right now. You call that patent in, we'll patent that. I'm telling you, it's hit and stingweed, nettle weed or whatever. Them two right there, we blend them together, they'll kill the gout in the air. Crazy. And that shit's painful if anybody's dealt with it. You know what I mean? It's bad shit. And for like 7 of them pills that they used to give me for gout, what was the name of them? $140 for 7 of them. Shoot. I can't think of it. I can't think of the name of it, but it was for the gout medicine. But a leave is about as good as it is, but or naproxen. But no joke, CBD oil and nettle weed knock it in no time. I couldn't believe it. The guy told me about it, and I tried it, and it worked.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's encouraging about cannabis is it's it's a beauty all just the way it is, just just the fucking way it is. You know what I mean? You pull it out of the ground and use it. It's a beautiful thing. But as science is coming into the picture and we started, like you're calling out CBD here, that's just one of the great molecules. As we start to
Yeah,
piece the puzzle together, we're realizing, oh, this one's great for this, and this one's great for this, and this one's great for this. But we haven't even kind of come across mixing them up on a chemical level. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
It's like Brown Guy 420's kind of messing with that, or right now, kind of putting CBG with N. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
These two are made for sleep. Well, here's a cannabis based, sleeping pill, you know what I mean, that will knock your ass out. And it's as we be able
and
to mix them back and forth, in different combinations, we're going to be able to unlock a whole lot more with what it can do.
they should have been studying that 40 years ago. They probably could have done had a cure for cancer and everything. I mean, honestly, um, it should have been studied years before now, shouldn't it? finally, thank God we got somebody in there, got to researching it. But imagine if they'd started researching it 30 or 40 years ago, like you said, we still learning. Heck, they probably still learning, medical benefits of it right now. They pay it, I guess, studying it, but it should have been done earlier, shouldn't it? Instead of being looked down on. But you're right.
I think they knew back then. I think that's one of the reasons why they
Keep
did
it hush
suppress
hush.
it when they did.
Makes sense. So they can sell their garbage.
It's all fine and great. You know what's funny is, as these times progress, a lot of these same people that, push these medicines, these poisons, I've seen a few cases, not firsthand, but through media, what their loved ones get sick and then embrace cannabis, and then it's all of a sudden, a little bit different story. You know what I mean? But uh, I guess things don't reach home until you sometimes when you
Yep.
put your greed aside and you're reaching out to grasp for your own life or a loved one's life, and then you're willing to try, step outside the box and open your mind. But it's sad that it takes, almost a life altering experience for that to come about for some people.
You're right. Uh, exactly right. And I think that's what helped us get to where we're at now. More people. Well, actually, there was a judge in my state. Um, I think cannabis cured his. He had or colon cancer, I think, and they used cannabis oil or RSO or something, and helped him. And he's changed his story. He's changed his song on the marijuana. You know what I mean? It opened his eyes up. People's getting more educated on it. And I'm glad because for years we was treated like pure outlaws and criminals, and hell, all we was doing is trying to help ourselves and help people. Not hurting nobody, not bothering nobody or nothing. That's crazy. But I'm glad that it's changing, bro. I hate to see some things change, but I'm just glad that they getting educated on it and seeing that it is there is a benefit to it. It really does help your stomach and this and that. I'm gonna grab me a water, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, you gotta definitely love this plant, that's for sure.
Got some cold coffee here. Be good. Moonshine.
Nothing wrong. Love some cold coffee. Ugh, that's a whole nother thing, man. I'll drink coffee however I can get it, to be honest with you.
I'm about like you.
I, I've drank it cold for years. I don't even, I got a nice bun coffee maker that fucking burners, it, that thing's got some time on it. I bet you that burner is like new. The warmer part of it, because I don't use that some bitch, man. I don't, man. I turn it on, and I either put it in another pot that's insulated, because man, that burner will wreck the coffee and time flat, and I can't enjoy super hot coffee. I like something I can
Drinking.
drink. I don't want to have to sit around for wait for it. I want to drink that shit.
I'm just like you. Uh, I like my coffee now. But just part of the day in it. I mean, get you going. That's for sure.
So, do you have any suggestions for, like, say, drying tips? How do you work your drying, your
Buddy,
harvest?
I like it. I'll be honest with you. I like that 60-60 myself. I like to hang them. Uh, I like it around six, which if I feel like 65 ain't gonna hurt you on temperature, but I like about 60-60 myself, and I hang dry for about 14 days. and then I'd go to jars, or sometimes if it's really dense, I'll hang it 14 days and then I'll put it in brown paper bags for a week or two, then put it to the jars. And I like at least about a 4-week cure on it, just so it brings out, I feel like it'll show everything it's got in 4 weeks cure, we're not saying it won't get a little better or worse as it goes on, but I'm saying at 4-week cure, it should show you, even your terps and your THC, you should be able to good judgment in 4-week cure, I think. I like them when you got them in a jar, Eagle, and they gas off and it looks like dabs in the tops of the hole. See the crystals stuck in the jar. You can about rake them out. I like to gas off and then stick to the top of the jar.
Right on. Yeah, I've been fucking. I've been laughed at some of my cheap ways in a couple of times, and one of the times that I am super cheap about is them trichomes on that jar. I do this many times. I got a 1-inch tapered brush, if you've ever done any painting, that I use. So after I empty out my jars, I know them trichomes are stuck to the jar like that, the good headed, full heads, and I'll sweep the jars. And then I'll sweep them out. I got a little shot glass that I sweep all them sweet trichomes out. And then once that glass gets full, I'll like fucking put it in a bubble bag. I've got 1-gallon bubble bags, and I'll put it in a 120. I'll give it a couple quick shakes just to get out, whatever particulates in there. And I'll press that shit into a temple ball that is so good. So good. But a lot of people will just fucking throw that shit away, man. I guess I've been too cheap for too long, but man,
not me.
I
remember, dude, I'm just like you. When I cut it, I try not to shake nary trichrome off. You know what I mean? I need every trichrome, because hell, you know how it's been. But I'm just like you. I'll save my trimming up till I get me a 5-gallon bucket full of sugar leaf, and I'll bubble it or sift it and then bubble it, make my butter. I even take all my stems. I leave my root balls in the ground, but I take all my stems after I trim it. I'll put them in a big kettle and I go out in my garage and I'll simmer them bad boys for about 12 hours, and I'll strain that water off, and then I'll dilute it and feed it back to my plants. I don't wait. I feed the leaves to them. I don't. Hey, if you ain't careful with that stem brewer, you'll burn. Hey, you'll roast them, bro. You got to dilute it almost like 500 to 1. It's potent. But no joke. I feed, the leaves to them, the stalks back to them, and I try to every trichrome I can gather, I try to keep. I got me and my woman both uses it, and gotta have them. You know what I'm saying? And I love it when them jars. Hey, one time I went 3 seasons through 3 whole years and just never bothered my jars. Just keep adding. And Eagle, I ain't kidding you. For 2 solid months, it was a blur for me, dude. I had a pile of I had probably a teacup full of them good fresh trichromes. Oh man, daggone. Well, like I say, about 2 months was a blur there. That I smoked that whole teacup full of those, but daggone, man, that's the good stuff, ain't it? in my opinion, top a bow off with it, or run across a joint inside and out. That's the gold, I think.
So I want to give you a shout out and some props, man. man, right now for the STEM thing, because that's one thing I'll definitely take away from tonight. I can't help but wonder how many other people that are watching right now and will watch this and be like, son of a bitch, that's gold. Because I've never really thought about it, but it makes perfect sense, to be honest with you, too. Because I actually feed my, when I make hash, I fucking is, I can't, I'm not going to store this shit. You know what I mean? So I'll make sure the plants are hungry. Hash day, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I take that water and I fucking let it get warm. I cut it in half and I give it to my girls because I know they love it. You know what I mean? I know they love it. I try to save as much of it for my plants as possible, but to utilize some stems in a a brew like that, it makes perfect sense in my eyes. It really does. I mean, it's genius, to be honest with you.
You know how the trichomes will look on your hash water, like almost like a oil floating on top, or lard or grease or something in the bowl. When you do the stem brew, you'll see that in top. And I wouldn't doubt if that ain't nothing but terpenes. But I'm telling you, you got to be careful. It will burn them. But man, they is something. And even when you get none of the stems, Eagle, they look like they've been laying out in the weather for 6 months when you get done brewing them and throw them out. I compost them to my worms, but they look like they've been laying out in a field for 6 months. So you take everything in them out, or I think you do. Do y'all got horse weeds up there in Michigan? Nobody, you ever heard of them?
No,
Horse
I
weeds.
haven't.
How about Indian hemp? You ever heard of Indian hemp?
I've heard of the Indian hemp. Yeah.
Okay, they one of my friends says that they the same thing. I'd never heard of Indian hemp, and he come to my farm and he's like, golly, he's like, dude, what are you giving him Indian hemp? And I was like, nothing. I use them for shade trees for my chickens. But anyways, he said they're actually in the hemp family, but they got like a big old stem, holler stem, and it's full of old white, like almost like white caulking looking stuff. And my buddy, he throws that in a barrel and puts brown sugar on it and lets rainwater fill it up. And he feeds that during veg. And I ain't kidding you. You talking about looking at 150, 200 plants that every one of them's praying in the same color. His is. He has got, and I don't know what all else he does, but he's a organic guy. But he showed me that he had a stick there. He put them in that cut out barrel. He beat them things, smither them to smithereens with that stick, and that rain put brown sugar on it, and then that rainwater sit there, and he would use that. And he said that the enzymes in it was like for super fast growth or something like that. He was telling me, but I told him, I said, dude, I got fields full of that stuff. I said, one day I'm going to try it, just to see if I like it. Because I know I like the stem, boiling, simmering the stems. But I'm going to try what he's talking about because I got them right here on my place, and plenty of them. And heck, that may be, it might be something else I like. I just got to try it and see.
Yeah, I think there'll be some good shit there. I hope you do try that shit out as well, man. Sounds like I said, it sounds like you're very much on point there, man. I'd love to try some of your cannabis someday, man. I hope that we
We'll
cross
see.
paths someday, my friend.
That's right. Yeah, and yes, sir. I'm hoping everything gets back. I ain't much on purple, but can you see that? Like I said, I get my phone deleted and I can send you some. But that's a purple auto flare. I don't, like I said, I ain't much on purple, but I've not even tried it yet. But I just wanted to show that to you right quick. I had that open. But yes, I hope everything gets lined back out, and I'd like to, go to some events and just go do something, you know. I mean, get out for a while, you know. We didn't even get to go on vacation. Heck, actually, I don't think I've been on a vacation the last 5 years. You know, I'm ready to go on vacation or something, you know. Do something, get out of the house, get out and heal.
I know here in Michigan, we're I've definitely got me some spring fever, man. I have been out the last few days. I almost put shorts on. I was almost that goofy fucker today at Walmart, 45, wearing shorts and shit. Hell yeah, it's coming.
we had 2 days. One day it was 66, and the next day it was like 65. And now, dang, it was just I mean, like you said, I was enjoying the sunshine and 2 days of it, and then it started raining, and it has rained. Today is like the third day, and it's actually flooding. You know, some parts of the state's getting flooded and everything. But just unreal the rain we've had. But it was nice for 2 days. It was actually starting to dry up. But not now.
Well, again, I don't think that's going to be a problem for me this year so far, anyway. We got a lack of snow. I'm actually starting to worry about my friggin' water table up here. I'm on a well too, because you know, and as when I came up here, I'm in a heavy snow belt. I get a lot of snow, or it well, with this is well, I don't know if I get a lot of snow or if I keep a lot of snow. I think it's more properly said that I keep a lot of snow. Once it comes, it stays cold enough to where it just stays.
That's a
You know
good
what
thing.
I mean? This
I
year's
mean,
a
not a good
perfect
thing for you, but
example. I haven't got a. This year's perfect example, man. I haven't got a lot of snow, but I got snow. But man, that first year, well, I got pounded. It was like I was out there shoveling every other day, 4 or 5 inches, and every year since it's been less, 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 less. And you know, everybody around me tells me, you know, this ain't right. You know, all the people that grew up around here, you know, fucking, we usually get a lot more snow. So, you know, I can't help but wonder what's going on that way. But I'm moreover worried about my water table because I've seen the less, 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 and then on top of that, we've seen less, 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 and rain as well. You know, so I've been kind of, you know, this year when things come, I'm wondering, man, is it gonna be a dry well year this year for me? Because man, I just don't see a lot of water returning.
right. Dude, like I said last year, I think I heard them say that we was 19 inches over normal for over the whole year, you know. But and like this year, I ain't kidding you. It's unreal the rain we getting here. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, you could probably count on your hands how many times the ground's been dry since December. No joke. It's just and the rivers are full, the creeks are full. You know what? I mean, it ain't got nowhere to go but just run. You know, travel. Actually, I saw some pictures today of a couple counties over. Man, it was taking cars down the creek this morning and stuff like bad flood. You know, and it wasn't supposed to get to me until like tonight. But when I first started talking to you, it was pouring. Now it's quit, so I'm hoping it stays quit. But crazy weather, dude. We've been having some crazy weather. It's almost like Mother Nature's mad or something. I don't know. Pissed off or something.
So you gotta fucking tell me about sex wax. Fucking sex wax sounds like some thick ass shit, man. Like some tough. Sounds like it takes a minute to develop some fucking sex wax, my friend. Tell me about fucking sex wax.
Man, you cracked me up. I about lost it right there. But dude, that is a surfboard wax. Is what that is. It's actually a wax made for surfboards, is what I've been told anyway. I'm not 100% sure. Well, actually, that's what they say. But anyway, I got this in South Carolina out there at the ocean, and that's what the guy. I asked him because I thought he might have had some good wax or something, and he's like, no, that's surfboard wax. I said, oh, okay, but that's what it is.
I'm calling that shit. I'm calling that shit right now. That's my next strain name. If it ain't taken already, that's my fucking next strain name right there. I can't think of a better fucking name for a fucking. Give me some of that sex wax, man. That sounds like some stinky, dank fucking bud right there that your fucking scissors would barely fucking cut through and shit.
I'm telling you, crazy. But that's what I was thinking too the whole time. But he's told me it was a surfboard wax, and I was like, well, shit. I was hoping because they had cannabis posters and any kind of glass you wanted, and and that's. I was hoping that he had something pretty good, But hell, I didn't need no surfboard wax, you know what I'm saying? But he gave me a hat, so I didn't say nothing,
I mean, seriously, think about that. I mean, I would cheese from fucking ear to ear. So if somebody fucking slid me a sack that said sex wax on it, I'd be like, what the fuck you
Brandon
here? God damn, I gotta get into this. What? Hell yeah, that would sell itself. I swear it would.
I seen
It's funny.
I seen a strain called G Spot one time. Vancouver Seed Company. About the same. It made me look twice. I was like, damn, I would order that and just try it.
That's funny because it made me wonder because he kind of leaned into the camera there, and even chat was like sex work, sex wax, and they were like sex wax. I'm like, so that got me looking. I'm like, you leaned in again. I'm like, what? I'm like, I gotta ask. I gotta fucking ask.
That's right. Heck yeah. I shouldn't have had one. There's my. There's another. Yeah, I supported 110%.
I know. Hell yeah. Very true statement there. That's funny. That's funny. That fit right up in the cast line there. She's actually got, they smoked the fucking goat fucker over there. So sex wax would fit right into that fucking fold right over there. That'd be.
Yeah.
That is fucking too funny. Too funny, man. Thank you for that. It made me smile, man. The shit that you know what I mean. It's a big yet small world, man. Some of the shit you never hear about unless you travel or fucking. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's fucking
different. I'm telling you, that's what I say. It's grown different cultures. You know what I mean? Different craft. It's a craft. I guess you'd say, but different cultures does different ways. Different. I guarantee you, every state's probably got a different, profile. You know what I'm saying? I mean, different profiles of cannabis, but they got their spin on it. You know what I'm saying? Like you. I mean, certain person grows something so long. You can look at his stuff. You'll know whose it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like it. it's a craft, man. I don't know. It's art, really, I guess, but it's crazy. It's amazing.
It is. As far as like that goes, it gets to the point where you get to know them strains enough that you can actually look through the garden, man. There's certain strains I don't even need to label them pods. You know what I mean?
Oh
Nine
yeah.
pound hammer, I can pick the 9 pound hammer out of a fucking thousand. I feel like I could pick that girl out of 1,000 strains, just like in a room,
Right.
and just be like, oh, that's 9, right back there. That's for sure.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
You think,
I'm even kind of funny about saying that I could be impartial, almost like to the point in a kind of jokingly way that like taking clones is like almost like a stepchild almost. You have to learn to love it to where stuff you pop from seed and nurse through its whole life, you've got that attachment with, you know what I mean? That's one of your girls. Like I said, you could pick them ones out of your garden, you know what I mean, easily. You
right.
know, that's, you know what I mean.
They'll have
I
their
always
spin.
take, for some reason, tend to take better care of them ones than the.
I agree with you. We sort of know. We lean to it, don't we? Lean to stuff.
Definitely some love to them girls.
I agree with you. Um, it's art, man. Uh, there's several different ways of doing it, but you know, end product, it's gonna help somebody. You know what I mean? It just it's wild. It really is. It's amazing.
So, what are some of the have you actually made a couple of your own crosses? You know what I mean? And what are
Yeah,
they? You know what I mean? Do you have a couple that you've named out, proud of?
yeah, yeah. I crossed the Banner and the Russian. I crossed the Russian on Hog's Breath. Uh, I got a mason jar full of them. I made them about 4 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. But they're rigs. But I bred the Hog's Breath over the Russian, and dude, Eagle, it'll produce if you let it go. Full cycle outside, it'll produce buds big as your forearm and 2 foot long. Anywhere from 3/4 to a pea to 2 pea per plant. It's a brood, and you don't have to stake it up or none of that. Just offers. I got some pictures of some I'll send you, but I'm talking like some centers that weighed 16 ounces wet. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Almost Maxwell House coffee cans. It's crazy, crazy. Uh, but that was the Hog's Breath and the White Russian crossed. And when I bred the Banner and the White Russian, they don't get as big. They be better indoor, but they get bushy. But they got that burnt rubber, like gassy terp to them, or sort of like almost like a chemical smell. And if you don't let them go full term, they got the craziest. Or like if somebody cuts it early, it's got like a crazy, like a stink bug, dude. Like it's got like you can't even smoke it. It's crazy. But if you let it mature, oh, dude, it's got it's stout smell, real mollusk, like a little cooler full of stink a whole house up when you screw the lid off of it. Real stinky stuff, danky, gassy stuff. Uh, but I got the Jerry Garcia. I bred the Jerry Garcia on some slurricane, crossed it on slurricane some. Um, I've I got some purple Kush a friend give me there. Alice, it's crazy. I'm gonna cross it some. I'm actually gonna breed it. I like it that good. I'm I'm gonna breed it most definitely and see it because it is. He told me he thought it was special, and it is special. But Been playing with making some autos, some semi-autos. A few of them, like I said, my Festos on the autos. He first tracker homes, man. He's killing it. You know what I'm saying? You can take, you can get some. I'll be honest with you, his auto, a lot of people wouldn't know it. You know, they won't know it. They know no difference in it. But he's got good tracker on garbage. And then I had some I made 3 years ago from a company called Cream of the Crop Seeds. Ordered them from Attitude. It was called Cash Crop Auto, and I done a little breeding with one. I liked them real good, and I bred one of them, and I'm eager to try some of them. And then I actually bred the Northern Light 5 over across to an auto last year. I run head over that farm stomper from Mephisto. I crossed it over the Northern Light, and then I bred some of the Cream of the Crop, Cash Crop. I bred across them 2 ways there. I'm excited to run some of them and see what I can do there. See what see what happens. Which I'd like to breed them back one more time so I can see a little more of the auto stuff. Shortness of them. But dude, for years we had an early pearl here. Northern Light 5 and early pearl cross finished super early. It would finish by like Labor Day. It's ready to cut by Labor Day if you got it out by Valentine's Day outside, and super good stuff. But food around and lost that, which I got a bottle of I got a thing of seeds that's got as Northern Light 5 and early pearl crossed, but I sort of been holding back on them, I don't know why, but I just been holding them back. But actually, that's the only thing I got that's got any of the early pearl in it. I'd love to find some early pearl seed, which I've tried a lot of the seed banks that keep seeds for 25 years, they ain't got it either. But I'd like to find some early pearl. Dude, that was the auto to have right there. That's what I told my buddy a while back. I've played with several autos, and I wouldn't trade the early pearl for none of them that I've played with. And it finished super fast. I even run some early girl one time. It was real good. But the early pearl was when I bred it over the Northern Light, which of course we, making something finished by Labor Day, 1st of September. That was the key. But dude, it was super good stuff, just can't even, I ain't found no auto flyer like it, you know what I mean?
It's one of these things, as you go through your cannabis journey. There's like I believe it was Mole Vision. If it wasn't, it was a gentleman for him. Oh, I'm drawing a blank right now. I guess it was. So sorry to that person. But like they were stating, growing can be like an onion. You can pull it back many facets. Cheddar Bob was one reference in that, and every time you get to like a plateau where you kind of like, had a lot of fun with this. There's so many avenues you can turn down. Organics. Fuck, the auto door yet is uneven, uncracked for me yet. I've tried a few fucking failed runs early on with some autos, so now autos have come to the point where they are now. It's a whole new avenue for me to try, to be excited about. So it's ever evolving, and I love it.
I tell you what, Eagle, my buddy bought a bulk pack from Expert Seeds. I think they're in Canada, maybe, or Netherlands somewhere, but Expert Seeds. He bought a bulk pack, wasn't bad at all, of some autos last year, and didn't pay a lot for them, really. And I ain't kidding you, bro. He called me. He's like, yeah, he said, this feed's ready. He's like, you need to come over. Well, I went over there, and I ain't kidding you, dude, the chunkiest, and every one of them probably standing almost head high. But he hadn't grown a lot. He didn't top them or train them or nothing. He let them this Christmas tree, and I ain't kidding you, Eagle. The most dense nugs that I seen in a long time, and I was like, "What? This ain't no auto." And he's like, "Yeah." He said, "I'm telling you." He's like, "Here, take you some." He said, "I bought them in bulk." He said, "Boy, they good ones, ain't they?" I said, "Yeah, really." And I've been playing with them, and I'm telling you, 5 ounces of plant, in 90 days, pretty much. And it is, dude. Like I said, when I get this card cleaned, I'll show you. But it is some rocks. I mean, I'm talking like grabbing a gravel, limestone gravel or something. It's just solid as a rock from bottom to top too. No, I mean it was crazy, and actually pretty good, pretty good quality to it. He let them, flush out good. I mean, it I'll be honest with you, it amazed me, and that's what I told him. I was like, dude, autos has changed a lot. I said, man, thumbs up. They coming right up. They just keep getting better and better and better. I can remember the first ones I ordered from Dynafilm. I mean, don't get me wrong, they was gas, but they you'd be lucky if you got an ounce of plant. But that burned 5, 6 years, 7 years. They got them. They getting there. You know what I'm saying? And especially like more of the Afghani autos I found. Dude, a good Afghani auto. It's hard to beat. Really. I mean, hard to beat. Pretty good medicine. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't eat. A lot of people, buy it and don't even know that it's auto fire or nothing. It's just so solid and so crystally. You can't tell the difference in it, and gassy too, super gassy. But yeah, they done a killer job on the autos, that's for sure. And that Mephistos, I promise you, what I've got from seeds wise is they've stood out from everything, that I've been playing with or whatever. That's the reason I bred that. I like that one so good. I bred some of them and crossed them and been playing with them, but they coming along, man. But I'm like
Heard
you,
nothing but
and
good things about it.
yep,
The manifesto there.
yep. Uh, super crystally, super trichrome, frosty. What I've had has been, well, like I said, it'll stick out. It's so frosty, it'll stick out away from everything. But heck, like I said, if I could find the early pearl I used to have, I wouldn't even worry about breeding autos. You know what I mean? If I could find that early pearl, I'd just make a couple crosses and I'd be happy. But maybe it's gone. I ain't seen it or heard of it. But it was a good one.
You never know. Somebody watching this might either have some or have a
Yeah,
line on it for you. You never know.
be nice. It was a good one. But you're right. They did. That's what I said. You know, just it's amazing to what probably what all's around that we don't which hopefully everything, like I say, everything goes fairly legal. I think that some stuff will surface. Maybe people won't be so hid with it. You know what I mean? And say, like I said, these people around here that won't even let their grandkids have the seeds. You know what I mean? It's like a they hold it dearly. It's just weird. But heck, I don't know. It's just crazy.
So, man, we've had a great night of conversation. I'm trying to think of anything that I haven't, asked you about. So,
I was going to tell
what do
you.
you do in your? Go ahead, my friend.
I was going to tell you. Hey, look, this. I found out another thing that cannabis likes real good, Eagle. Is limestone rock. Mix some limestone rock, which like where I live, it's real common here. There's limestone quarries everywhere, but um, that limestone rock works about as good as pumice or perlite or you know it's I believe it's high in calcium or something. Cannabis likes that stuff. They really like it. So somebody can't try it. They're got access to it. Mix a little and put a little in bottom of your pots or mix some in your dirt. Good aeration. You can get some. They size it like 57s here. It'll be a half inch and smaller. It's all there. Best. It's better than perlite. You know what I mean? And you can get a ton for
Thank you for
$6.
that, man.
$6 a ton too. you know.
Yeah. A lot, that's a good tip too. That only makes sense, and I myself and a lot of people that I talk to, as of late, man, we're looking for a reason to fucking ditch perlite, something else to use for aeration. Pumice stone and now limestone sounds like sounds like it's one of those things when you hear it, it's like, yeah, that just makes sense.
Yep.
You know what I
I
mean?
believe it's high in calcium or something. Even like the water that runs out of these mountains, they say it's real high in calcium because it's limestone water. Actually, my creek runs over limestone in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's great too. It's great too. Another question from chat was Cass wanted to know what kind of chickens do you got there? What kind of roosters? What kind of chickens?
Uh, the ones I hold dearly is radios. Uh, they've been in my family since early '80s. My uncle, he's had them since early '80s. The same line. I'll be honest with you, Eagle. They made me famous pretty much in that world. But I was just born into it. My uncle already had them when I was born, and I just took up liking to it, and just like anything else, you breed the best and let go of the rest, and you sculpt something, you shrink that gene pool on them, tighten it up where they all just alike. But yeah, they hatch radios, grays, but mostly I'm known for the radios.
They also asked, does you have any other type of livestock? You run any other type of livestock?
Yeah, I got miniature horses, and guineas, big horses, dogs. Uh, but we got about nine miniature horses. Uh, my mom's been breeding them fooling with them for 25 years. We've had them. Uh, got them down to like 30 inches tall. Uh, you know, full grown 30 inches tall, 32. I had some
Lucky
ducks.
Mike. I'm
I had
sorry.
some
Go ahead.
ducks
I
that
cut you off.
I had some ducks that I bred down for my daughter. She's 15 now, but when she was little, I took some ducks and bred them down to where they'd be real small and food up around and let the varmints get them, but put a lot of time into it.
It's really cool. Lucky
Now, here's a
Mike
couple of my
wanted to
horses.
know.
That's a week
It's
old.
cool as shit, man.
Week old.
It's cool, man. That's really cool. Lucky Mike asked if you grow when you grow outside, do you grow Cincy or do you grow seeded or both?
uh, Definitely, I mean, I might see the limb here and there, or if I'm going to do a cross, I'll do it somewhere totally different. You know what I mean? But I do like just pollinating a couple bottom limbs. If you got something you really like, shiny. You like it. You can seed a couple bottom limbs and there won't be no seed nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? Sort of control where you want it.
Johnny Cannon Seed would like to know how old do the mini horses get?
Man, I've got two that is probably I've got two that's probably 15 years old. Still perfectly fine. They got a long they got a long lifespan pretty much. I've got like I said, I got two that I started with. They're registered Palominos. Um, I've they've been here for 15 years, and you can't even you don't even know they're that old right now, So I really don't know. Uh, I've been around some of the same, some of the same ones for 15, 20 years, and they ain't showed a bit of age or nothing. So I don't really know.
Huh. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Does he feed them? Does he feed the poo to his worms? I guess
Oh
that's
yeah,
the next question.
oh yeah. And I tell you something else I like to do with the horse manure is just take the tractor or bobcat and take it and pile it up somewhere in the shade, leave it for a year. It'll shrink down almost to nearly nothing. You'll think it's gone, but you can go over and get you a few buckets full. But it's good stuff. I actually had I used I've used all the manure for the last 15 years. I stay caught up on it pretty much, and I had to go get some off of a friend this past year that raises big horses. They're like show horses and stuff. And dude, he told me, he said, I've been throwing it over that bank for 25 years. I was like, that sounds great. And I went up there and I got a little ton dump truck and I hauled like 10 loads of it, Eagle. When I jump over the bank down there to where it was at, I'd sink up to my knees. It was just so soft and green clover growing in it. Oh man, I hauled every bit of it home for it, because believe it or not, the chickens get something out of that too, man. Like when I first bring my horse manure in, I put it in all my chicken cages and let them break it down. They get something out of it, man. That's been one of my secrets for many years is, put them on the horse manure. They get a whole different feel to their feathers and stuff when you hold them. I've had people tell me it's from the studs, the hormones or whatever, but dude, it does something for them. Like literally, I don't know what, but after they break it down into a fine dust, then I'll go in and take my shovel and clean it all out. And that's when I take it to my worms or, cause it'll have chicken manure in it too, but I take it to my worm bins or even my compost piles, either one. But, like the horse manure I told you, I scored over there that guy'd been throwing over that hill for like 25 years. It was ready to go. Like it was already broke down. It was you could put. I swear you could fill a 20-gallon pot, Eagle, and you could pack it in there, and you could run your arm to the bottom of the pot. It was so. I mean, it was just loot. God, it was awesome, dude. I've still got a big pile out here. I've got plenty of it. Heck, plenty of it. But yeah, definitely try to use everything. I'm about an hour away from any town or anything, and it gets tough sometimes. You can't just run and grab something, every time you need something. What
I
works
do
works.
know the feeling. Let's see here. What kind of fish does what kind of fish do you catch up there? I guess would be your next question.
Man, this river here where I'm at, it's full of smallmouth bass, trout, red eyes, catfish, suckers, hogfish. Dude, there's all sorts of fish here where I'm at, and actually the creek that runs by through my farm, hit like 1 mile being long enough to be a river. And it's a creek actually. It is full of smallmouth and red eyes, and hogfish, suckers, stuff like that. But when I go 45 minutes down the road, I can actually get into the big river, Cumberland River, Kentucky River, either one, same distance. I can be at either one of them. Super good, wade fishing, kayaking stuff. And actually, Eagle, I'll tell you sometime, but there's all kinds of interesting stuff around. You know what I mean? All kinds of interesting stuff. Like a lot of old towns and stuff. You know what I mean? Just a lot of like prehistoric history and scenic stuff and awesome stuff.
That's awesome. Sounds like a great place to be, man.
Hopefully, but
American One would like to know about turkeys. Does he or anyone else breed turkeys? You breed turkeys?
no, but there's tons of wild turkeys here. My hay bottom stays full of turkeys. Like today when it was raining, there was probably 25 or 30 over in one of these hay fields we cut earlier. They get where we cut that hay. I guess it drops stuff or something, seeds or whatever. But dude, there's tons of wild turkeys here. Like literally a lot of them. There's a lot of all game here. Where I'm at. Dude, nowadays people's too lazy to hunt or on drugs, and they don't hunt. And that's one part about being a hunter here is like there ain't a whole lot of people hunts, a lot of people rides around their vehicle and hunts, but actually hunting, there ain't a whole lot of people hunts. That's like coons. I coon hunt a lot and bear hunt. I run a lot of bears with dogs. There's more bear than there are coon down here, Eagle, believe it or not. That's how crazy it is. But like I said, I've got a lot of people into the coon hunting and stuff, but like literally we started hunting bears because there was more bears than there was coon,
That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. These so-called sanctuaries they got for them. You know what I'm saying? They got these certain places that they mark off as a sanctuary, and dude, the bears is multiplied like it's, you know what I'm saying? They thick. They real thick. And they take a lot of food from everything else, I think, and elk, there's a lot of elk around here, but I think the bear is pushing the elk out because the bears eat so much of what the elk eats, like wherever there's a lot of bears, the elk won't hang around, It's crazy. But whitetail deer, like, man, I'm a bow hunter, like it almost about as crazy as I am about cannabis, but not hardly. But I'll send you some pictures of some mounts and stuff. But I got this whole holler, dude. Like my mom's side of the family owned part of it, and then I leased the other part, and I got a whole holler that I've been managing for whitetail deer for about 11 years, and it's just unreal what some deer hunting. You know what I'm saying? I got some really nice whitetail deer hunting around too. Super good spots. But I like to fish
Sounds like
too.
you got it. You had a pretty wholesome life over there, man. Sounds like you had a pretty wholesome life, man.
I've been blessed, brother. I really have. Good people, you know what I'm saying? Doing people right and being good to people, and you get paid back for it. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed, dude. I tell you the truth straight up, I've been blessed. I fell into the game foul pretty much, but I've been blessed, all the way around. I really have. I can't complain, you know what I mean? It was good. But I'm telling you, it's anymore though. I never thought I'd leave, but anymore, like I say, if something don't happen soon on the legal deal or federal or whatever, I'm either moving to Virginia or Oklahoma. One of the two. If they don't, do something. But uh, I think Virginia will be like in 2 years. I think they'll be legal, and it won't. It's 30 minutes from my hometown. So that should work out perfect.
It does. Hope it does. So how we doing? I mean, we're three and a half hours into it. How you
Are
holding
you
up, my
kidding me?
friend?
3.5 hours?
Nah, it's 30.
Damn.
It's 3:06, man.
We're
We
getting
checked
older
in.
fast, bro.
Look.
Time's ticking fast. It don't feel like it's been an hour and a half, Eagle. Dang. That's what I'm telling
Does
you. Good conversations and good cannabis does that, don't it?
it sure does, man. It sure does. Yeah, it does go by quicker than most, man. People,
Yes.
I
3 o'clock
think
in the
if
morning.
people get nervous, I think people get nervous pre-show about what how it's gonna go. But man, it always goes so easy. I often wonder why people get so
Dude,
nervous.
I was having, I'm telling you, I was having stomach flare ups. I got a little nervous myself, just all the way around. I was like, I'm getting a little nervous. But heck, that's amazing, dude. But I've watched you so long. That's what I told my wife today. I said, heck, I feel like I've known Eagle. You know what I mean? I said, hell, I've watched him for so long. I said, hell, I feel like I know him. You know what I mean? I can talk to him because I feel like I know him. Hell. But yeah, it's flew by, dude.
Been a
For
great
sure.
night, man. And I'm sincerely hoping that you do take me up on the rabbit hole.
Yes,
Sounds like you watch quite a bit. There's no
I
reason
do.
not to jump in and say hello and smoke, man.
That's right.
It helps build the community, man. It really does.
100%. Um, heck, there's a lot of mornings, drinking coffee, sitting there and heck, I ain't doing nothing else no way. Like you said, getting medicated and getting my coffee in me. Heck yeah, I'll definitely check in with you. Uh, I, I'm telling you, I like to see, yeah, it's amazing, dude. I like seeing other people's grows and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Heck, I've learned a lot, dude. Heck, I've learned a lot off of your show. You know what I mean? I take that stuff in, cipher on it. Yeah, I learned a lot from this show.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So anything that man, I'm about run the well dry on things to ask, man. But is there anything you'd like to say before we wind this up? You want to get a wormhole going? Maybe pop
But
into
yeah,
that and
be,
hang out with some others.
buddy, that'd be fine. Be great. Um, that'd be fine. Uh, I'll get use the bathroom and get my stuff ready. Anytime you get your stuff together, why I stop in, say hello, whatever.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
I ain't done
So
nothing
I
lately.
can't let you go without getting that sound bite, my friend. You should have seen that one coming.
Okay. uh, what episode are we on now?
Three
Three
thirty
thirty
four.
four.
Can you believe it, man?
Dude, that's almost a year in it. And it seems like 3 months literally when I found your channel. You know what I mean? Uh, about 3 months ago, I started watching it, and now, daggone, that time don't wait on nobody, does it, buddy? It never stops ticking, that's for sure. Whew,
No,
dang, it goes by fast. But, well, let's see. I don't know. You tell me how you say it there now, and I'll let me know here.
Goes, something close to this. It doesn't have to be this, but hey, this is Eagle Gardens, and I'm on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 334. Please check it out. You can add whatever you want to it, spin it off however you want, but something close to that.
Got you, bro. You ready?
I'm ready, friend.
Okay. This is Jones Forum on Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 334. Everybody, y'all be safe. Take care. Keep them growing. See you.
Thank you, my friend, man. And I can't thank you enough, man, for coming out and hanging out, buying the community another night of hanging out and meeting, in my opinion, one great dude, man. So I can't thank you enough. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in a few minutes, man.
Hey, buddy, I thank you for letting me be on. Heck, I thank you for even doing this, letting us learn and talk about stuff and this and that. It's right up it's right up my alley. You know what I mean? That 365. That's all I think about. You know what I mean? But thank you a lot, buddy, and I'll keep in touch with you. See you in a little bit.
All right, have a good one. Thank you, my friend.
You too.
Well, that does that wrap up this one, 334. It was a good one. What a great dude. So hopefully you guys will follow over to the wormhole, come hang out, give me maybe 5-10 minutes tops. We'll be back here and get the wormhole going. Thank you so much again for hanging out and following me and everyone else through this journey. It's man, I love what I do, man. I love what I do. You guys all make that happen. So that's why I can't thank you enough. So hopefully you'll do the same. Use the restroom, fill that tray, come hang out in the wormhole. Love you guys. You guys know the deal. If you're not going to come hang out, please do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness to save lives. I love you guys. I'll see you in a minute.